Chapter 873. Boom! As soon as Linley finished speaking, a terrifying aura exploded forth. The tightly shut door suddenly opened, and a black figure charged out, arriving in front of Linley. Reaching out, the figure grabbed Linley by the shoulders, a look of excitement on his face as he shook Linley while asking, "What? You said you can cure Xiao Shue's illness?" Looking at the clean-cut middle-aged man in front of him, Lin Rei was taken aback. He quickly recovered and said, "Heh. That's right. I did have a way to cure your daughter, but what?" Seeing the hesitation of the person in front of him, Lu Yuan frowned. "Oh, it's nothing." Looking at him, Linley said with an indifferent look on his face, "Just now, I did have a way, but when I heard a certain someone shamelessly tell me to F***ck off, I felt very unhappy. So, I don't have a way. I can't remember." Hearing those words, Lu Yuan's mouth twitched and his face turned ugly. He didn't expect the person in front of him to be so vengeful. For a moment, Lu Yuan was filled with regret. He didn't expect that because of his recklessness, he would offend a young person. At this moment, Lu Yuan noticed that the person in front of him was very young. Because he was worried about his daughter's illness, he didn't take a closer look. Now that he saw him, Lu Yuan began to doubt him. Should I believe him? He's so young. Can he really cure Xiao Shue's illness? The more Lu Yuan thought about it, the more he couldn't believe the strength of the person in front of him. Forget it. I was going to make a move, but since you told me to scram, and now you're doubting me, forget it. Seeing the bewilderment in Lu Yuan's eyes, Linley shook his head regretfully. Without hesitating any longer, he walked out. Seeing Lin Rei's departing figure, Lu Yuan froze on the spot and didn't chase after him. However, the woman who received Lin Rei didn't act like her father. Even though she didn't know if the person in front of her could cure her, she couldn't treat him that way. She ignored the weakness in her body and quickly chased after him. "Sir, wait. Linley, who wasn't moving very fast, heard the hurried sound behind him. He stopped in his tracks and turned around. What he saw was a weak girl running non-stop. Whoosh. Looking at the woman's pale face, Lin Rei was shocked. His figure flashed and instantly appeared in front of the woman. He sternly stopped her. "Nonsense. Don't you know the condition of your body? What you're doing will only increase the speed at which your life force is draining away. Don't tell me you don't want to live anymore." Hearing Lin Rei's stern voice, the girl called Xiao Shui stood there with a wronged expression. Inexplicably, her eyes became wet and she looked like she was about to cry. This scene stunned Lin Rei. What the F***ck? What kind of operation was this? I didn't seem to have shouted that loudly just now. Even though that was what he thought, Lin Rei was someone who didn't want to see a woman cry. He immediately opened his mouth and said in a weak voice, Okay, I didn't mean to yell at you. I am fine. I am just blinded by the wind. It's all right." Sensing the apologetic tone in Lin Rei's words, the woman hurriedly shook her head. Are you sure it was the wind that blinded you?" Hearing Xiao Shue's words, Lin Rei stared blankly and looked around. What kind of F***king wind was this? In this secret realm, let alone wind, even rain couldn't enter. You. Calling Lin Rei like this caused Xiao Shue's face to turn red. She stomped her feet and wanted to leave, but thinking of her father's powerlessness, she immediately bowed and said, "I'm sorry. I apologize on behalf of my father's powerlessness." Seeing Xiao Shui bow and apologize, Lin Rei stared blankly. He raised his head and looked at Lu Yuan, who was still standing there, and coldly snorted. I forgave that old fellow because of you. Remember, it's because of you." In truth, Lin Rei didn't really plan on not treating Xiao Shui. He was just putting on an act so that when he returned, he could investigate her illness and see what it was. Thank you. Seeing Lin Rei forgive her father, Xiao Shui smiled and took a step back. She extended her hand and made an inviting gesture, saying, "Please." "Okay." Nodding, he walked back to where he was before. At this moment, seeing Lin Rei return, Lu Yuan still had some doubts in his heart, but he didn't dare to act like before. "This fellow Taoist, since you said you have a way to treat my daughter, I wonder if, father." At this moment, hearing her father's words, Xiao Shui hurriedly interrupted, "Father, are you not going to invite this gentleman in? Are you going to stay here?" Hearing this, Lu Yuan couldn't help but glare at his daughter. Then, without feeling awkward, he smiled faintly and said, "I was negligent." "Please, okay. That's more like it." "You." Hearing Lin Rei's words, Lu Yuan was slightly angered. He wanted to flare up, but there was nothing he could do. After all, there was a glimmer of hope to cure his daughter. Although he didn't know if it could really be done, it was better than nothing. Entering the room, Lin Li didn't pay any attention to Lu Yuan. Instead, he sat down and closed his eyes. Although he forgave Lu Yuan because of Xiao Shui, Lin Rei didn't say that he wouldn't make things difficult for him. After all, the two of them were at the same level, and Lu Yuan might not be able to defeat him. Lu Yuan, who had followed Lin Rei in, saw Lin Rei's state. Although he was furious, he had no choice but to suppress it. He sat down in the main seat and didn't wake Lin Rei. Instead, he waited quietly for Lin Rei to wake up. Lin Rei didn't speak, and Lu Yuan didn't make a sound either. The entire room fell into a deathly silence. Neither of them said anything. They just waited. While the two of them were silent, Xiao Shui, who had left, returned. However, just as she stepped through the door, she paused. She, who was rational, sensed the stifling atmosphere. Sigh. These two people are really... He sighed. Then, she stepped into the living room. "Sir, this is Xiao Shui, or self-sufficient hollow tea and freshly made osmanthus cake. It's a little crude, so please don't take offense." "TSK, that's right. My daughter's things are a bit crude. How can they possibly enter fellow Taoist's mouth?" Seeing how his daughter treated the person in front of him, he only heard a clang as a jar of vinegar was knocked over. At this time, Lin Rei opened his eyes. He ignored Lu Yuan and turned to look at the plate in Xiao Shui's hand. "It's fine. I'm not a person who will make do." As he said that, he picked up a piece of osmanthus cake the size of a mahjong tile and took a small bite. When the cake entered his mouth, the fragrance of osmanthus instantly engulfed Lin Rei's mouth. Moreover, this osmanthus cake was glutinous but not sticky. It was sweet but not greasy. It even left a fragrance in his mouth. It could be said to be one of the best cakes. I didn't expect Miss Xiao Shui's cooking to be so good. Whoever marries you in the future will be lucky. As he said that, he picked up the teacup and took a sip. It's so sweet and delicious. The fragrance is pleasant. The tea has a trace of the fragrance of plants. This. Looking at the tea in the cup, Lin Rei felt that the tea he had drunk before was like trash compared to this cup of tea. This tea is called hollow tea. It was accidentally cultivated by Xiao Shui. There isn't a lot. If you like it, I'll bring some for you in a while. That's great. That's great. Moreover, even if Xiao Shui didn't say it, Lin Rei would probably say it. After all, this tea was very different from what he had drunk before. How shameless. You haven't even started working yet and you want to eat and drink. Now you want to take it away. You're really something. At this time, Lu Yuan's sarcastic voice entered Lin Rei's ears. For a moment, Lin Rei paused and turned his head to look. So what if you have some food? Moreover, did I say I wouldn't pay? As he said that, with a thought, a blue light appeared in Lin Rei's hand. Here, take this as a greeting gift from Miss Xiao Shui. I hope you don't dislike it. As he said that, without waiting for Xiao Shui's response, Lin Rei directly stuffed the name in his hand into Xiao Shui's hand. Then, looking at the osmanthus cake in front of him, Lin Rei no longer held back and began to eat heartily. As for Lin Rei, who had already eaten, he didn't notice Lu Yuan and Xiao Shue's expressions at all. Damn, a supreme-grade divine artifact? What the heck? Am I seeing things? A cry of surprise came from the side. This. Xiao Shui lowered her head to look at the blue whip that had appeared in her hand. For a moment, she was a little dazed. Who is this person? Why is he using a supreme-grade divine artifact right off the bat? At this time, Lu Yuan, who had recovered from his shock, looked at Lin Rei. At this moment, he had no choice but to reevaluate the person in front of him. To be able to take out a supreme-grade divine artifact right off the bat. Even he didn't have the courage to run away, but the person in front of him had done it. However, Lu Yuan thought for a long time and thought of all the aristocratic families and sects in the 9th state, but he couldn't find anyone like this. Father, this. After coming back to her senses and knowing the grade of the item in her hand, Xiao Shui looked at her father awkwardly. She wanted to ask for his opinion. As Lu Yuan's daughter, Lin Rei knew very well that Xiao Shui was not only a cultivator, but her cultivation was also very high. She was almost at the early stage of the divine monarch realm. However, her aura was a little weak. From this, it could be seen that Xiao Shui had only broken through recently. Understanding the meaning of his father's gaze, Lu Yuan was stunned. He turned around and said in a low voice, "Fellow Daoist, this item is too precious." "My daughter, what are you talking about? I'm not giving it to you. Besides, I, Lin Rei, have given it away. How can I take it back?" Before Lu Yuan could finish, Lin Rei interrupted him. However, Lin Rei's mouth was stuffed with osmanthus cake, so his words were still a little unclear. But for better or for worse, the father and daughter of the Lu clan were both high-level cultivators. They could hear him very clearly. PFFF, seeing Lin Rei's current appearance, Lu Yuan's eyes twitched even more fiercely. Xiao Shui couldn't help but burst out laughing. However, the moment she burst out laughing, she felt that she was acting strange and quickly stopped. "But, no buts. I've already given it away. I won't take it back. If you don't want it, then throw it away. It's just a weapon anyway. It's not worth much." Lin Rei waved his hand indifferently. "What? Throw it away? It's not worth much?" Lu Yuan could be said to be extremely shocked today. This was the first time he had heard that a supreme-grade divine weapon was worthless. Ignoring Lu Yuan's shocked expression, he clapped his hands. The plate of osmanthus cake in front of him was already empty. "Okay, just take it. To be honest, this thing is useless to me. I use a spear. Of course, if you really don't want it, then no. I want it. Xiao Shui replied. She tightly grasped the blue whip in her hand as if she was afraid it would be snatched away. "Heh, that's right." Seeing Xiao Shui like this, Lin Rei chuckled. Then he pointed to the side and said in a low voice, "Sit down. I'll take a look at you and see why you're sick." Okay. At this moment, Xiao Shui's expression was very serious. This illness had been bothering her for a long time. Now that there were finally signs of a cure, how could Xiao Shui not be serious? Not only her, but even Lu Yuan was the same. His original emotions were completely gone at this moment. The only thing left was nervousness. Looking at Xiao Shui, Lin Rei gave her a reassuring smile. Then he stretched out his hand and placed it on Xiao Shui's back with a trace of spirit energy. Little Snow let out a soft moan, and a blush crept up his cheeks. Feeling the warm hand on his back, Little Snow felt a strange feeling spread throughout his body. However, Lin Rei was completely unaware of Xiao Shui's current situation. When he placed his hand on Xiao Shui's back, Lin Rei's mind moved to communicate with the system. "System, check what Xiao Shui's illness is." Ding. "Okay, Master, please wait a moment." When he heard the system's voice, inexplicably, Lin Rei's heart calmed down a lot. At this moment, Lu Yuan saw that Lin Rei was motionless and anxiously asked, "How is it? How is my daughter?" Sigh. Seeing that Lin Rei did not respond, Lu Yuan tactfully retreated to the side and did not disturb him. Ding, investigation complete. Do you want to accept Xiao Shue's illness information? Accept. Ding, transmitting. Host, please wait a moment. Ding, acceptance complete. Does the host want to investigate? Investigate. Ding, it has been formed. Host, read it yourself. After saying that, a screen appeared and a paragraph of words appeared on the screen. Eternal Night Curse, one of the inherited curses of the witch race. It belongs to the category of middle-grade curses. Those who are cursed will lose their vitality over time until they die. Reading up to this point, Linley began to frown. But when he read the next line, Linley was completely enraged. Even though the Eternal Night incantation is only a middle-rank incantation, it is classified as a middle-rank incantation because it doesn't have powerful attack power. However, there is one thing that even high-rank incantations cannot compare to, and that is if the person affected by the incantation doesn't come into contact with the incantation, then their descendants will continue to pass down the Eternal Night incantation until someone comes into contact with the incantation. Look, this is too damn ruthless. Chapter 874. Lin Rei couldn't help but roar in excitement. Perhaps it was because he saw how vicious the Eternal Night curse was. At the side, Lu Yuan heard everything very clearly. Hearing this, Lu Yuan, who originally had a serious expression, turned extremely gloomy. Anyone with decent comprehension should be able to understand something. Since Lin Rei said so, it meant that his daughter, Lu Yuan, didn't dare to think about it. He didn't dare to think about it. Before he knew the result, he couldn't think too much. At this moment, Lin Rei withdrew his hand from Xiao Shue's back after checking on her condition. His face was gloomy. He didn't know how to tell Lu Yuan and Xiao Shui about this. After all, this matter was too cruel for the two of them. Little dragon, is there a way to get rid of the Eternal Night curse? I know you know a lot. Think of a way. I don't want a little girl who can make pastries to die just like that. Moreover. He looked at Lu Yuan. Moreover, Lu Yuan's talent is not bad. He can cultivate to the peak of the late stage of ultimate god at such a young age. I believe that as long as I help him break through to the Holy Realm, then, he will be a great help to me in the Holy Realm. Damn, you brat, Little Dragon really wanted to give Lin Rei a big slap when he heard what he said. Is he King God? But no, Linley's words weren't wrong. Having such a talented friend was a good thing for him. Little Dragon said, the Eternal Night curse is a mid-level curse of the sorcerer tribe. Once this curse is formed, it's a little difficult to get rid of it, but what? Hurry up and tell me. Lin Rei knew something was up when he heard Little Dragon's words. TSK, look at you. Little Dragon didn't delay when he saw Lin Rei's anxious face. It's not impossible to get rid of this curse. Aya, hurry up and tell me. Why are you dawdling? You. When Lin Rei said that, the little dragon rolled its eyes and said snappily, have you forgotten about the illusory spirit blood fire in your body? The illusory spirit blood fire is the nemesis of all evil and Een. Isn't this curse of Eternal Night officially classified as Een evil? Yeah. Hearing the little dragon's reminder, Lin Rei was suddenly enlightened. He slapped his forehead. Why didn't I think of that? I'll be right back, wait. What's wrong? Seeing that the little dragon had stopped him, Lin Rei asked in confusion. Damn, you brat, have you forgotten everything I taught you before? Looking at Lin Rei, the little dragon impolitely reprimanded. Xia Feng's Een evil spirit is a high-level existence. With your current level, do you think you can get rid of it? Lin Rei was stunned. Yeah, with my current level, do you think I can get rid of it? Moreover, Xiao Shue's body has been engulfed by the curse of eternal night for a long time. If it's all removed suddenly, then, can her body bear it? At this moment, a series of questions appeared. He couldn't help but think that his previous actions were so ignorant and laughable. Heh. I've been cultivating for so many years. I didn't think I would make such a mistake in such a small matter. I really deserve a beating, enough. Sensing that Lin Rei knew he was wrong, the little dragon's tone softened. This matter is actually easy to solve. Looking at Lin Rei, the little dragon smiled and continued, as long as your Dan stage breaks through to Master Dan grade level 6, you might be able to help Xiao Shui completely get rid of the curse of eternal night in her body. What? Hearing this solution, Linli was shocked. 6th level of the saint level? When the hell would he be able to reach it? He had just broken through to the 1st rank of the saint level. How the hell was it possible to reach the 6th rank in such a short period of time? What? You don't want to save Xiao Shui? Seeing how shocked Lin Rei was, the little dragon teased, you have to think carefully. Xiao Shue's pastries are delicious and she has a good personality. Plus, her father is in the late stage of ultimate god realm. What do you think, F***CK? Hearing how the little dragon was tempting him, Lin Rei couldn't help but be tempted. To be honest, Xiao Shue's pastries were delicious and the tea she brewed was excellent. More importantly, if he could use this matter to help his Dan stage break through to Master Dan grade level 6, then, it might not be a bad thing. As the saying goes, with pressure comes motivation. Maybe he could really achieve it through this matter. Heh, that's right. Sensing Lin Rei's thoughts, the little dragon smiled. Since you've decided, then let's do it. However, before you break through to level 6 saint grade, you have to give Xiao Shui a mysterious life pill every day to ensure that she won't die before you break through. What? Mysterious life pill? Lin Rei remembered the mysterious life pill. It was an elixir he created himself. Although it was only a divine grade level 1 elixir, if she were to take it every day, then, the amount of materials needed to refine it was not a small amount. What's wrong? You're not willing to use your materials? Knowing why Lin Rei was distressed, the little dragon didn't want to say anything more to Lin Rei, the miser. No, it's just, alright, it's settled then. Alright, you can accept this mission. The little dragon didn't give Lin Rei time to speak and ordered. Ding! Mission, rescue Lu Yuan's daughter. No time limit. Reward, a complete map of the Heavenly Court's treasury. Will the host accept? Ding! Breakthrough to level 6 Saint Grade Dan stage. No time limit. Reward, a complete copy of Hongmeng's pill scripture. Will the host accept? Ding! Reminder, there are still 36 years left to subdue the Talisman Grandmaster. Please hurry, or else. Lin Rei was speechless. Listening to the mission, Lin Rei nodded helplessly. Yes, I'll accept all of them. Ding! The host has accepted. You still have to work hard. Sigh. Seeing the system's voice disappear, Lin Rei couldn't help but let out a long sigh to calm his heart that was about to collapse. Alright, I'm going to sleep. You can deal with it yourself. Go. After cutting off the communication with the little dragon, he came back to his senses. In the outside world, Lu Yuan and Little Snow watched as Linli withdrew his probing hand. His face alternated between surprise and frown. Lu Yuan and Little Snow felt their hearts sink. However, they didn't disturb Lin Rei. After all, the diagnosis wasn't out yet. What if there were still variables? Sigh. He came back to his senses and sighed. Then, he opened his eyes and saw Lu Yuan's face that was full of vicissitudes. F***CK, what are you doing? Seeing Lu Yuan's face so close to his the moment he opened his eyes, Lin Rei subconsciously took a step back. What are you doing? Lu Yuan's face darkened when he saw Lin Rei's reaction. He was displeased. What do you think I'm doing? Looking at Lu Yuan, Lin Rei couldn't help but have a headache. I saw your face the moment I opened my eyes. If it were anyone else, they would have been scared to death. With that, he ignored Lu Yuan and turned to Xiao Shui with a smile. Xiao Shui, let me tell you a piece of bad news. Go ahead. At this moment, Xiao Shui seemed to have lost all hope and nodded indifferently. Seeing Xiao Shui's reaction, Lin Rei was stunned. Then, he said, the bad news is that your illness, it can't be all ice. At most, it's a curse. However, this curse is too powerful. If you don't come into contact with it in this life, it will follow you into the next life. More importantly, if you don't come into contact with it, then your sons and their sons will suffer the same fate as you because of the legacy of the curse. They will be tortured until they die. This cycle will never end. What? Hearing Lin Rei's words, Lu Yuan and Xiao Shui were shocked. All this time, they had thought that it was an illness. But now, it was confirmed that it was a curse. Moreover, the curse was so vicious. At this moment, their faces couldn't help but turn ghastly pale to the extreme. If it was really as Lin Li said, then wouldn't their Lu clan be annihilated? Heh heh. Seeing how shocked the two of them were, Lin Li couldn't help but chuckle. However, I have some good news for you. Sigh. It's already like this. What good news can there be? Xiao Shui ignored Lin Rei. At this moment, she only wanted to find a place to calm down and think about what to do next. Xiao Shui's attitude was so negative that Lin Rei was stunned. Then, he said, actually, you don't have to be like this. I only said that the bad news is a curse. I didn't say that I don't know how to cure this curse. What? Lin Rei said. Lu Yuan and Xiao Shui were stunned. They turned their heads and were puzzled. That's right. I said that I can treat her. It's just that, the treatment period is a little long. Furthermore, it's true that I can't treat her now. If I can raise my Dan stage to 6th grade martial saint, then I will have 100% chance of curing your daughter, Xiao Shui. However, before that, your daughter must take mysterious life pills and primary yang pills every day to replenish her lost lifespan and the foundation of her body. 6th grade Saint Realm? Lu Yuan was excited. However, he only knew that the Dan stage was from mortal grade to revered grade. Moreover, it had been a long time since a revered grade Saint Realm appeared in the divinity world. Sigh. This is troublesome. Seeing the confusion on Lu Yuan and Xiao Shui's faces, Lin Rei began to explain. The Dan stage is similar to cultivation. Starting from mortal grade, it is yellow grade, profound grade, earth grade, sky grade, king grade, emperor grade, god grade, revered grade. However, above revered grade is saint grade. After divine grade, the Dan stage cannot be judged by initial grade, intermediate grade, advanced grade, or complete grade. After divine grade, it is calculated according to grade. There are 10 grades in each grade. After that, he looked at their confused faces. Now, do you understand? Yes, Xiao Shui replied. But sir, it has been a long time since a revered grade pill master appeared in the divinity world. Even divine grade pill masters are few and far between. Lin Rei understood what Xiao Shui was trying to say. He did not hide anything from her, they can only blame themselves for not being able to break through. I am now a saint grade pill master. But, if I want to break through to level 6 saint grade pill master, the road ahead is still tough. Hearing that Lin Rei was already a saint grade pill master, Lu Yuan and Xiao Shui took in a deep breath. But before I break through to level 6 saint grade pill master, you have to be with me every day. This. Xiao Shui, who was still in shock, blushed upon hearing Lin Rei's words. She was put in a spot. You. Please don't misunderstand. The road ahead to level 6 Saint Grade Pill Master is extremely difficult. Furthermore, the Eternal Night Curse is consuming your life force daily. You have to consume the Xianming pill and Yuanyang pill that I give you every day to replenish your life force. That way, when I break through to level 6 Saint Grade Pill Master and remove the Eternal Night Curse for you, you will not be devoured by the Eternal Night Curse. Oh. So, that's how it is. Originally, he had been inexplicably excited, but upon hearing Linley's explanation, that excitement disappeared, replaced by disappointment. Plop. Suddenly, Lu Yuan knelt down in front of Lin Rei with a face full of gratitude. Fellow Daoist, thank you for your help. Even though I promised to give you half of my assets, it's nothing to you now. Please tell me, what do you want? Alright. Hurry up and get up. I'm not used to you acting like this all of a sudden. A gentle energy appeared beneath Lu Yuan's knees and pulled him up. This energy. Could it be that you're... As someone who was on the same level as Linley, how could he not be able to sense how powerful the power Linley was releasing was? That's right. I'm a mid-ultimate god cultivator. So, don't treat yourself as an elder in the future. Otherwise, I'll suppress you anytime. Do you believe, Lin Rei was not lying? Although he did not know Lu Yuan's true strength, Lin Rei did not believe Lu Yuan could defeat a Dao fruit saint who was at a higher level than him. I didn't realize that you're a divine venerable like me, but... I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were a divine venerable like me, but, speaking up to this point, Lu Yuan looked at Linley with a strange expression on his face. However, since you are a godly venerable, why do you have the core disciple token of the Talisman Sect? Moreover, with your Saint Grade Pill refining skills, why would you willingly become a disciple of the Talisman Sect? Upon hearing that, Xiao Shui turned her head and looked at Lin Rei in confusion. She was very curious as well. After all, the young man in front of her was at the same level as her father. You don't have to worry about that. I have my own plans. However, I can only stay here for a while. After that, you must follow me back to the Talisman clan. Once everything is settled, I'll live in seclusion and comprehend the sage state. All right. They didn't hesitate or question him at all. For some reason, in this moment, the two of them had complete trust in Linley. However, Lu Yuan was put in a difficult position. Although I'm not interested in Tianyuan City, I'm the one who built this place. Don't worry, Lin Rei smiled as he looked at Lu Yuan. I'll get someone to accept this place after you leave. How's your strength? If you're not strong enough, I'm afraid I won't be able to suppress those clans and forces in Tianyuan City, Lu Yuan said worriedly. Don't worry about that. The people I sent are enough to beat you up. Chapter 875. Lu Yuan expressed his helplessness at Lin Rei's words. Moreover, he didn't take it to heart. After all, if what Lin Rei said was true, that person's cultivation was at least in the late stage of the ultimate god realm. He might even be in the peak ultimate god realm. Such cultivators could be counted with 2 hands in the 9th state. He didn't think Lin Rei could order them around. Although he was shocked by Lin Rei's ultimate god realm cultivation, he didn't believe Lin Rei's words. It wasn't just Lu Yuan, even Xiao Shui felt the same way. She didn't believe Lin Rei could order someone of that level. Looking at their doubtful faces, Lin Rei didn't bother to explain further. It wasn't necessary and he couldn't be bothered to anyway. Alright, go tidy up a room for me. I'll refine the profound life pill and primary yang pill for you. Alright. I'll go now. Xiao Shui didn't hesitate and got up to leave. Of course, you have to report to me. Lin Rei said with a smile as he looked at Xiao Shui's back. What? What do you want in return? As long as you tell me. That's right, fellow Daoist. What do you want in return? As long as it's within my means, I won't be stingy. Tell me, Lin Rei chuckled when he saw how nervous the two were. What's wrong? I just want Miss Xiao Shui to make me something delicious every day. As for that hollow tea, if you have it, it's best if you brew it every day. I don't know, this condition. All right, sir, wait here. I'll tidy up the room and make you something delicious. Just wait here. Xiao Shui didn't expect Lin Rei to make such a request. She didn't expect Lin Rei to make such a cheap request. Phew, she let out a long breath and smiled. Thank you. If it wasn't for you, I'm afraid my daughter's life is in danger. Lu Yuan said as he watched little Snow leave. Lin Rei was not used to Lu Yuan's sudden behavior. You don't have to thank me. I only agreed to help because of Miss Xiao Shui's skills. Don't misunderstand, Lu Yuan didn't know how to save face at all. Lu Yuan seemed to be used to this. He didn't refute this sentence and smiled slightly before sitting down. The scene fell silent once more. No one spoke, and no one communicated. Linley didn't waste any time. With a thought, he entered the system. Sigh. I suddenly need the mysterious life pill and the Yuan Yang pill. These two pill formulas were created when I was bored and wanted to advance to the Dan stage. I didn't expect that I would need them now, but... As he thought about these two types of pills, Linley had completely forgotten what ingredients they required. What's more, he wasn't certain that he would have them. After all, he was currently either refining exalted or saint-grade pills. He basically didn't refine divine-grade pills anymore. Thus, it was normal for him to be lacking in ingredients. They arrived at a room which Linley had specially set up to study pill formulas. Here, one bookshelf after another appeared, upon which were placed all sorts of jade slips of various colors. Looking at these jade slips, Lin Rei's face was full of emotions. These were all the proof of his journey. Everything. If it wasn't for these pill formulas, he wouldn't have the chance to become a venerable god and reach the saint-grade Dan stage. Walking slowly to the bookshelves, he was worried. Damn, where did I put them? There are at least 80,000 if not 100,000. How am I going to find them? Looking at the bookshelves in front of him, Lin Rei's heart was full of hatred. If he knew this day would come, he would have just divided the pill formulas into different grades. Now, he wouldn't have to search them one by one. Thinking about it, he instantly spread out his divine sense and enveloped all the bookshelves in the space. He began to search them one by one. Water cloud pill? This pill formula is still here. It's rare. Heaven spirit pill? Earth spirit pill? Jiuyuan pill? Amber pill? Body tempering pill? Huangji pill. At this moment, the names of pills that Lin Rei's memory were a little fuzzy but familiar appeared one by one. However, after so many years, he still didn't find the two pills he wanted. Time slowly passed. Lin Rei's search was fruitless and his mood became irritable. Little dragon, come out. Where are the two pill formulas? In the end, he had no choice but to seek help from the little dragon. After all, the little dragon was in charge of this place. If even he knew about it, then, these two medicinal pills might really disappear and be lost. You. What do you want me to say? Didn't I say it before? I'm going into hibernation. What are you doing, huh? Do you know that it's easy for me to get dark circles? Lin Rei, hearing the little dragon's words at this moment, Lin Rei had the urge to step forward and give him a kick. What the hell are you talking about? Big brother, you're a spirit, okay? Of course, Lin Rei couldn't say this out loud. He just kept it to himself. Well, I remember that the mysterious life pill and Yuan Yang pill's pill formulas are here, right? Why is he gone? Don't you know how to make these two pills? Didn't you create them? Looking at Lin Rei, the little dragon couldn't believe it. These words entered Lin Rei's ears. For a moment, Lin Rei was embarrassed. Yes, those two pills were created by me. But But you also know that I haven't refined those 2 pills for a long time, and... With that, Lin Rei couldn't help but pat his chest and said, and with my physique, do I still need those pills to nourish me? Hee hee. That's great. Seeing that Lin Rei could still shamelessly praise himself, the little dragon fiercely slapped his forehead and felt helpless. To be able to forget the pills that you created, you're really one of a kind. Okay. Seeing that the little dragon wasn't finished, Lin Rei growled, do you know or not? I know. Of course I know. Where is it? Seeing that the little dragon really knew, Lin Rei's face lit up for a moment. Sure enough, he asked the right person. In the storage basket. Didn't I tell you before? Didn't I put the things in the storage basket for you? Why don't you listen to me? You said that? With doubts, Lin Rei looked at the little dragon and asked doubtfully. As he spoke, his mind couldn't help but recall every word that the little dragon said before. However, Lin Rei really didn't hear that sentence before. After receiving confirmation, Lin Rei came back to his senses and wanted to find the little dragon to explain, but, at this moment, there was nothing in front of Lin Rei, and there was no figure of the little dragon. Connecting the situation, Lin Rei was speechless. Forget it, I'll look for you when I'm done refining the pills. Lin Rei, who didn't want to waste time, withdrew from the system space and returned to his body. With a thought, he took out the 2 pill formulas that were lying quietly in the system's storage basket. Phew, opening his closed eyes and looking down at the 2 pill formulas, Lin Rei revealed a smile. I didn't expect that the pills created by this sovereign could be used. Saying that, Lin Rei impatiently placed the jade slip on his forehead. Suddenly, a terrifying amount of information drilled into Lin Rei's mind. Mysterious life pill, as the name suggests, seizes life from life. It's refined from the mysterious cloud fruit, soul spirit grass, treasure return fruit, celestial spirit root, and 106 other ingredients. One mysterious life pill can restore one's lifespan by 100 years. Most importantly, this pill doesn't have the side effect of thinking. It can reach the 3rd level of divine grade. Primary Yang pill, a type of pill that can restore a cultivator's lost vitality. It's refined from the Jianghu fruit, rootless water, dragon flame grass, ice soul fruit, soul origin grass, and 79 other ingredients. This pill doesn't have any side effects. It can reach the 2nd level of divine grade. Damn, unconsciously, perhaps because of the materials required to refine these 2 pills, Lin Rei couldn't help but curse. What's wrong? At the side, Lu Yuan, who was sitting in the main seat, heard Lin Rei's words and immediately opened his eyes with concern. Hearing Lu Yuan's concern, Lin Rei came back to his senses and said, It's nothing, but what? Seeing the awkward look on Lin Li's face, Lu Yuan hurriedly asked. Sigh. Looking up at Lu Yuan, he said with difficulty, the 2 pills I'm refining are the 3rd level of divine grade. However, I don't have the materials to refine them. You don't have them? Hearing this, Lu Yuan frowned. He didn't expect this situation. He didn't expect that an alchemist wouldn't have the materials to refine pills. Seeing Lu Yuan's frown, Lin Rei quickly explained, the pills I'm refining now are the venerable grade. I haven't refined the 3rd level of divine grade for a long time, so I don't have the materials. Is that so? Hearing this, Lu Yuan fell silent. His expression changed as if he was thinking of a solution. At this time, Lin Rei didn't disturb him. After all, he wasn't familiar with this place, so... Lin Rei knew his place and chose to remain silent. What's wrong? Just as the 2 chose to remain silent, Xiao Shui's soft voice came from the door. Looking up, when he saw Xiao Shui's frail and thin figure, Lin Rei's heart inexplicably tightened. He immediately said, It's nothing, it's just... I suddenly wanted to walk around the city and see if there's an auction or something like that. That's right, why didn't I think of that? Suddenly, Lu Yuan was shocked and slapped his thigh in surprise. Seeing Lu Yuan smiling like a child, Lin Rui was stunned. Ignoring him, he continued to look at Xiao Shui and said, Xiao Shui, I wonder if you'd like to accompany me to take a look. I haven't seen much of Heavenly Cloud City since I came. I wonder if I have the honor of inviting you? PFFF, seeing the look on Linley's face, Little Snow seemed to have forgotten Linley's exalted status as a divine exalt, and he began to laugh. If it weren't for the things in her hands, she probably would have put her hands on her hips and laughed. Let's go now. Seeing his sickly and emaciated daughter, Lu Yuan couldn't help but stand up and urge Linley to hurry her up. Sigh. Seeing how frantic Lu Yuan was, to tell the truth, Linley felt both envy and jealousy. If he had spent more time with his wife and children in the past, perhaps that incident wouldn't have happened. Thinking of this, a hint of sadness and sorrow flashed through his eyes. He got up and said, let's go and see how Heavenly Cloud City is doing, and also see what the businesses here are like. With that, he took a step forward and appeared in front of Xiao Shui. He reached out and took the pastries Xiao Shui had made, then quietly ate one. Let's go. Put the things down and let's go see the auction. He didn't forget to stuff things into his mouth. At this moment, Lin Rui had completely fallen in love with Xiao Shui's pastries. Nodding her head, Little Snow placed the plate in her hand on the table beside her, and a happy smile appeared on her face. Ever since she fell ill, other than sitting in front of her own house, she hadn't gone anywhere else, so, she was also filled with anticipation towards the trading company. This. Xiao Shui, at this moment, seeing that his daughter was also going, he looked at Lin Rui with an awkward expression. Don't worry, with me here, she'll be fine. Knowing what Lu Yuan wanted to say, Lin Rui gave him a reassuring smile, then carried the pastries out the door. Father. Linley left, but Little Snow didn't. Instead, she looked at her father, Lu Yuan, a pleading look in her eyes. Let's go. Since Lin Rui said so, let's give it a try. But. Lu Yuan said nervously, if you find anything wrong with yourself, tell me immediately. Do you hear me? I hear you, father. Seeing his father like this, Little Snow's heart warmed. He no longer paid any attention to his father. Like a little girl, he ran after Linley. A grown girl can't be kept at home. We've only known each other for a short time, but she doesn't even want to follow me. Lu Yuan complained as he watched his daughter leave. Although he was complaining, there was no trace of complaint on his face. On the contrary, there was only kindness and concern. At this moment, on a bustling street in the southern district of Heavenly Cloud City, Lin Rui and the other two had just left the city lord's mansion. As for Xiao Shui, she was like a child who had never seen the world. She looked left and right, and as long as she saw something new, she would take a look. Lin Rui and Lu Yuan were helpless in this regard, but they didn't stop her. Instead, they tirelessly followed her. How much longer? At this moment, Linley suddenly spoke out. It's just up ahead. That's Heavenly Cloud City's largest trading company. It's also the one that connects the entire 9th province. Hearing Lin Rui's question, Lu Yuan raised his head and pointed at a tall building. Oh. That's it? Seeing where Lu Yuan was pointing, Lin Rui took a step forward and grabbed Xiao Shui's hand. Let's go. I'll take you to see something even better. You can have anything you want. There's nothing you can't imagine. Really? Xiao Shui, who had been happily twirling around, heard Lin Rui's words, and little stars appeared in her eyes. Let's go. Pulling Xiao Shui along, the three of them quickly arrived at the entrance of Heavenly Cloud City's largest trading company. When they arrived at the entrance, they looked up and saw a golden plaque with the words, 9 Clouds Trading Company, written on it. Chapter 876. 9 Clouds Trading Company. Looking at the words, a smile bloomed on Lin Rui's face. 9 Clouds, what's wrong? Is there something wrong with this place? Mister? Seeing Lin Rui's reaction, Xiao Shui asked doubtfully. Yes. What's wrong with this place? If there is, then we. At this time, Lu Yuan also opened his mouth to agree. No, nothing, I just feel that this name is a little interesting. Let's go. With that, Lin Rei stepped into the Nine Clouds Trading Company. Although it was nothing, Lin Rei couldn't help but think of the Nine Heavens Trading Company that he had founded. However, it was just a thought and he didn't immerse himself in that memory. Seeing Lin Rei leave, Lu Yuan hurriedly followed. At this moment, Lu Yuan unconsciously followed behind Lin Rei and didn't walk side by side with him. Of course, although Lin Rei noticed this, he didn't say anything. After all, this wasn't a big deal. Walking into the Nine Clouds Trading Company, the visual impact and the simple and unadorned aura hit them in the face. At this moment, the Nine Clouds Trading Company was bustling with people coming and going. Moreover, the layout of the Nine Clouds Trading Company was very eye-catching. On the outside, it was an ancient building with 9 floors. On the inside, it was extremely luxurious and magnificent. It was completely different from the outside. Even Lin Rei was stunned when he saw the huge difference between the inside and the outside. This difference in style is really not ordinary. As he spoke, he forced a smile. Yes. Seeing Lin Rei's reluctant expression, Xiao Shui smiled and said, the layout of the Nine Clouds Trading Company has always been like this. In the past, I couldn't come out and only heard about it from passers-by. Now that I've seen it with my own eyes, it's really like what everyone says. That's right. Seeing his daughter and Lin Rei like this, Lu Yuan couldn't help but add, although the Nine Clouds Trading Company is a trading company, in recent years, it has the momentum to surpass the 7 sections. Moreover, the Nine Clouds Trading Company can be said to be the most powerful trading company in the entire 9th state. Under the development of the Nine Clouds Trading Company, the Huang's Chamber of Commerce and the Zhou's Chamber of Commerce have begun to show signs of destruction. I think it won't be long before they are destroyed. Furthermore, I've heard that the background of this Nine Clouds Trading Company is extremely powerful. Furthermore, according to the rumors, the shadow of the upper realm can be faintly seen behind this Nine Clouds Trading Company. Saint's World? Upon hearing Lu Yuan's words, Lin Rei abruptly turned his head and exclaimed through telepathy. That's right, the Saint's World. Of course, that's only a rumor. No one knows for sure, let alone verify whether it's true, so, this is getting more and more interesting. Lin Rei completely ignored Lu Yuan's last words. At this moment, Lin Rei's thoughts were completely different from Lu Yuan's. On the contrary, he was starting to think about that rumor. As the saying goes, wind comes from an empty cave. If there was no shadow, how could such a rumor spread? However, if that was really the case, then there was a problem. Why were people from the Saints' World appearing so frequently in the divine world? Previously, in the other 8 states, there were already geniuses from the Saints' World. Now, in the 9th state, it was the same. Just what did they come down here for? Lin Rei stared blankly in front of him and couldn't help muttering to himself. Who came down here? The sudden voice caused Lin Rei to come back to his senses. He turned his head to look at Xiao Shui. Since we're here, let's see if there's anything that Xiao Shui likes. If there is, let your father buy it for you. As he said that, he turned his head to look at Lu Yuan with a sinister smile on his face. Then, he walked inside. Sigh. Is this Nine Clouds right or wrong? Lin Rei's smile caused a wave of fear to rise in Lu Yuan's heart. Sirs, may I know what you came to Nine Clouds Trading Company to buy? As long as you say it, as long as you want it, there's nothing that Nine Clouds doesn't have. At that moment, the attendant at the entrance saw Lin Rei's group and jogged over to Lin Rei's group with a smile on his face. Oh. Is that so? Lin Rei was stunned when he heard such big words. Then, he smiled and said. That's right. My Nine Clouds Trading Company is the largest trading company in the 9th state. As long as you want it, my Nine Clouds trading company will definitely be able to take it out. The attendant's expression didn't change in the slightest when he heard Lin Rei's words. He was still smiling like he was bathing in the spring breeze. Heh. I hope you won't disappoint me. Lin Rei didn't try to explain himself. He turned his head to look at the crowd and asked curiously, "May I know what day it is today? Why are there so many people here?" "Yes, that's right. There are so many people here. What are they doing here?" Xiao Shui agreed when he heard Lin Rei's words. "HM?" The attendant looked doubtfully at Lin Rei's group and asked hesitantly, "Could it be that the three of you aren't from the Heavenly Cloud continent?" "Yes, that's right. We just came from another place." "May I know where this place is?" "Oh. I see." When the attendant heard Lin Rei's words, he immediately put on a matter-of-fact expression. "It's normal that you don't know." "Oh. Why do you say that?" The attendant said proudly. Suddenly, Lin Rei felt displeased. "Today is my Nine Clouds Trading Company's once-in-a-millennium auction. Therefore, various powers have come. The scene is in full swing and very lively. May I know if the few of you are interested in going up to watch? Which power are you from?" When he heard that various powers had come, Lin Rei's interest was piqued. He immediately asked, "May I know if there are any rules up there?" "Hee, I didn't expect you to be so familiar with this place." The attendant praised Lin Rei when he saw that he knew. Then, he said seriously, "Young master, you are right. Then tell me about it." Lin Rei did not want to listen to nonsense. He went straight to the point. Okay, I will tell you now." The attendant did not dare to delay when he saw Lin Rei's impatient look. "It's like this. If the auction is held in the main hall, you will have to pay 500,000 low-grade divine crystals." "What? 500,000? 500,000 low-grade divine crystals? Why don't you just rob us?" Lu Yuan exclaimed as soon as the attendant at the side spoke. Perhaps it was because he saw Lin Rei's disdainful look. Lu Yuan knew that he had lost his composure. However, 500,000 low-grade divine crystals was not a small sum to him even though he was a late ultimate god. However, who said that a late ultimate god cultivator must be rich? At this moment, the attendant was stunned when he saw Lu Yuan's reaction. He looked at Lin Rei suspiciously. Damn, don't tell me that this group of people didn't. Money. Continue. He knew what the attendant was thinking. He immediately spoke and turned to glare at Lu Yuan. When he saw Lin Rei's glare, he immediately shut his mouth and stood to the side without saying anything. Continue. Lin Rei said again when he saw that the attendant was still hesitating. However, this time, Lin Rei was clearly angry. Okay. As an attendant, he was usually chosen by the main house to be able to read people's expressions. Thus, the attendant knew exactly what Linley was trying to say. Thus, he didn't dare to delay and continued to speak. Previously, the main hall had to pay 500,000 low-grade divine crystals in exchange for a membership card of Jiuyun. In the future, anyone with a membership card will have a 5% discount on all the items in the store. As for the rooms on the second floor, that's a VIP room. It costs 500,000 mid-grade divine crystals in exchange for a membership card. However, the difference is that customers with a VIP card will have a 10% discount on all their purchases in Jiuyun. As for the third floor, the attendant hesitated when he mentioned the third floor. It was not that he did not want to say it, but he was afraid that it would be a waste of time. Based on Lu Yuan's behavior, he was certain that none of the people in front of him were rich. The third floor? What's wrong with the third floor? Why aren't you saying anything? Lin Rei asked when he saw the attendant's hesitation. The third floor costs 1 million high-grade divine crystals. Those with a VIP card will have a 20% discount on all their purchases in Jiuyun. So, 20% discount? Lin Rei understood what the attendant meant. However, Lin Rei was obviously tempted. Although the second floor was cheaper, Lin Rei did not want to stay on the second floor. What do you mean? You can't be thinking of. Lu Yuan felt a chill run down his spine when he saw the sneaky smile on Lin Rei's face. He felt an indescribable pain in his heart. Although he had not interacted much with Lin Rei, Lu Yuan had a pretty good grasp of Lin Rei's character. Lin Rei did not want to say anything as he looked at Lu Yuan. Moreover, from the beginning to the end, Lin Rei had never thought of spending a single divine crystal from Lu Yuan. Ignoring Lu Yuan, Lin Rei turned to the attendant and said with a smile, "Give me a room on the third floor." "Oh, the third floor? What? The third floor?" The attendant was calm at first when he heard Lin Rei's words. However, when he came back to his senses, he simply exploded. The third floor. That was the third floor. It was impossible to obtain a room on the third floor without 1,000,000 divine crystals. Of course, 1,000,000 high-grade divine crystals was nothing in the eyes of large sects and clans. However, the three people before him, no matter how he looked at them, they did not look like rich people at all. Ignoring the attendant's shock and disbelief, Lu Yuan said with certainty, "That's right, the third floor. According to the rules of the trading company, if you want to enter the third floor, you must first pay?" "That's right. You must pay the bill first before I can bring you there. Otherwise, with this lowly one's status, I'm afraid it will be difficult to explain myself," said the attendant. "Amen. I understand." As he said that, he sent his consciousness into the storage ring that stored the divine crystals. However, when Lin Rei saw the scene inside the ring, he was stunned. "Fuck. I forgot that I used up all the divine crystals earlier." When he saw that the storage ring was empty and there was only a small pile of high-grade divine crystals left, Lin Rei recalled that he had used all the divine crystals to buy gifts when he returned home. At this moment, Lin Rei could be said to be extremely embarrassed. However, since he had already said it, if he did not take it out, he would be ridiculed by others. Moreover, if this matter were to spread to Bai Qi or the Xuanzong sect, how would he, as the founder of the trading company, face? When he thought of that, Lin Rei exited the space and looked at the attendant. He said, "That. I have a medicinal pill here. I wonder where your appraiser is?" This situation was completely different from what he had imagined. Earlier, he had arrogantly said that he wanted to get a room on the third floor. However, now, it's inside. Of course, the attendant was not surprised by a guest like Lin Rei. Moreover, as an attendant of the Nine Clouds Trading Company, he had been instilled with the principle that service was paramount since he was young. "Emin, bring me there," said Lin Rei. "All right. Please follow me." After saying that, the attendant turned around and led him to a room in the depths of the trading company. At this moment, the attendant stopped and gently knocked on the door. He said softly into the room, "Master Gu, there is a person who wants to appraise an item." "Emin, come in." A voice filled with vicissitudes of life came out from the room. "Yes." After receiving permission from the person in the room, the attendant turned around and said, "Everyone, please go in. I will guard the door. Let's go." Ignoring the attendant, he said to Lu Yuan's parents who were behind him. Then, he pushed the door open and entered the room. At this moment, in the room, a white-haired old man was sitting on a chair, sizing up the three people who had entered with a trace of interest. When he saw Lu Yuan, who was the last to enter, he was stunned and stood up abruptly. "Lu Yuan, this is?" Looking at Lu Yuan, the old man's heart was in turmoil. "Isn't this the official city lord of Tianyuan City?" "Gu Tongfeng, I didn't expect you to still be alive." Lu Yuan, who had just entered the room, was also shocked by the old man. He did not expect the appraiser of the Nine Clouds Trading Company to be the former elder of the Xuanzong sect, Gu Tongfeng. Gu Tongfeng was stunned by Lu Yuan's words. He really did not know how to continue the conversation. "That's enough. I'm here to appraise the elixir so that it can be added to the auction. I'm not here for you to catch up." Beside them, Lin Rei was stunned when he saw the two of them knew each other. Humph, senior, you have no right to speak when we're talking. Shut up. Suddenly, a terrifying aura rushed out from Gu Tongfeng's body. Don't, he wanted to stop it, but it was too late. Lu Yuan was shocked when he felt the terrifying aura. He did not expect Gu Tongfeng, who had disappeared for 10,000 years, to have entered the intermediate ultimate god realm. Moreover, there were signs of him breaking through to the late ultimate god realm. Junior? Hee hee. What a joke. Lin Rei was stunned when he felt the aura. Then, he regained his composure and said, a mere intermediate ultimate god cultivator dares to be so arrogant in front of me. Are you tired of living? Boom! After that, Lin Rei stopped suppressing his aura and unleashed the aura of a peak intermediate ultimate god. At that moment, the aura that was suppressing Lin Rei was like a rat running across the street when it came into contact with Lin Rei's aura. It ran back into Gu Tongfeng's body and did not dare to come again. It happened so fast that Gu Tongfeng did not even have time to react before he felt the aura surging towards him like a tidal wave. Plop. At this moment, Gu Tongfeng couldn't control his body and directly knelt in front of Linli. His face was filled with pain, and sweat poured down from his forehead like it didn't cost money. Now. Do you still think that I'm a junior? He slowly walked towards Gu Tongfeng and looked at him with disdain. Chapter 877. You. How did you, kneeling on the ground, his face was filled with indescribable shock. The pressure was so strong that he almost couldn't breathe. Moreover, what was even more shocking was that the person in front of him was so young. He never thought that his cultivation level would be so high. Just the pressure alone was enough to make him unable to refute. Not only Gu Tongfeng, but even Lu Yuan who was beside him was shocked. Although he knew that Lin Rei was a hierarch, he did not expect him to be so powerful. Sensing how powerful this aura was, most likely even he felt a bit uneasy. He wasn't sure if he was a match for Linli. However, if he knew that Lin Rei did not use his full strength and only used 5/10 of it, how would Lu Yuan react? Seeing that Gu Tongfeng did not respond, he pushed forward again and said, "Speak, am I still a junior? If so. Then. I'm sorry, I'm wrong." Suddenly, Gu Tongfeng's face turned red and apologized. "I'm sorry, it's my fault for looking down on you, it's my fault for not knowing who you are. Please forgive me, sigh." Looking at Gu Tongfeng's pitiful appearance, Lin Rei was stunned for a moment and then sighed, "I'm asking if I'm still a junior? I don't want to hear anything other than that." Seeing Lin Rei's reaction, Lu Yuan was startled and smiled bitterly. "It seems like I shouldn't offend this guy in the future. Otherwise, I'll end up in the same situation." Then, imagining himself kneeling on the ground and begging Lin Rei, he felt a chill down his spine. At that moment, Lu Yuan was sure that he would not offend Lin Rei easily in the future. He did not want to kneel in front of Lin Rei and apologize one day. You're not a junior. It's my fault. It's my fault that my dog eyes failed to recognize gold and jade." Gu Tongfeng directly responded to Lin Rei's request. He didn't want to keep kneeling like this. Moreover, he was right. He had indeed looked down on Lin Rei by calling a hierarch realm cultivator a junior. Yes, that's right. Hearing Gu Tongfeng's words, Lin Rei withdrew his pressure and sat down. He took out a bottle of elixirs from his storage ring and placed it on the table. He said, "Let's see if this elixir can be added to today's auction." I'm coming." At this moment, Lin Rei's words were like a demon's voice in Gu Tongfeng's ears. His body trembled, and fear rose from his heart. He immediately turned around and walked over to Lin Rei like a lackey. He picked up the pill bottle, opened it, and looked at Lin Rei with disdain. This is. The moment he opened the pill bottle, the small room was instantly filled with the fragrance of pills. Hiss. How is this possible? Gu Tongfeng seemed to have thought of something. His face was filled with shock. How is this possible? Honorable grade elixir, how is this possible? When did the divine world have a master who can concoct honorable grade elixirs? Lin Rei naturally didn't know what he was thinking. At this moment, Lin Rei only wanted to know the result. Although he had already guessed it. How is it? Seeing that Gu Tongfeng didn't reply for a long time, Lin Rei became impatient. Are you qualified to enter the auction? Is this yours? Lin Rei asked for the second time. Gu Tongfeng came back to his senses and looked at Lin Rei expectantly. Yes, what's wrong? Is there a problem? No, it's just that. I have a request. I wonder if you can answer it. At this moment, Gu Feng was very serious and he bowed humbly. Oh. Is there a problem? Looking at Gu Tongfeng, Lin Rei's interest was piqued. Tell me, what's the problem? Senior, do you know where the person who concocted this elixir is? Gu Tongfeng couldn't wait to ask Lin Rei. What's the matter? Lin Rei didn't think that Gu Tongfeng was so anxious to see the alchemist. He didn't want to invite the alchemist for tea. As the saying goes, one doesn't visit a temple without a reason. Everything was based on profit, which meant that Gu Tongfeng was asking for a favor. Looking at Lin Rei, Gu Tongfeng struggled in his heart for a while. After making a decision, he raised his head and said, my friend, you might not know this. Back then, when Dao's sect was destroyed, my Dao foundation was damaged. Although I've already broken through to the mid-ultimate god realm, it's 10 times harder for me to take another step forward. If I want to enter that realm, it's just wishful thinking. As he said that, his proud face showed a touch of sadness. I thought I had no hope in this life, but I saw that your elixirs are all revered level. I don't know the specific level, but revered level is enough to heal my injuries. Oh, I see. Hearing this, Lin Rei finally understood. Sure enough, one wouldn't rise early if there was no benefit. Plop, without any warning, Gu Tongfeng knelt on the ground. His face showed a touch of pain and begging. He kowtowed to Lin Rei and said, my friend, please tell me. If it's like this, then I'll definitely repay you greatly. Oh. Repay you greatly. Looking at Gu Tongfeng, to be honest, Lin Rei was tempted. After all, he was going to leave after eating. When he left, he would bring most of the ultimate gods with him. Although it would deter the ultimate god's sects, Lin Rei was still worried. Now, with the ultimate god kneeling on the ground in front of him, how could Lin Rei let go of such a good opportunity? Then, he had an idea. However, Lin Rei didn't sense it in time. After all, he still didn't trust this old man's character. Therefore, it was necessary to test him. As he thought about this, he lowered his head and looked at Gu Tongfeng. A strange smile appeared on Lin Rei's face. If someone who knew Lin Rei saw this expression, he would definitely turn around and leave without saying a word. Because this expression meant that Lin Rei definitely didn't have any good ideas. He definitely had his eyes on something that he was interested in. TSK. Well, it's not that I can't tell you, but I have some elixir refining materials here. You see, my friend, if you need any elixir refining materials, just let me know. Although this old man isn't a member of the Nine Clouds Trading Company, I still have some status here. I've been waiting for you to say that. Hearing Gu Tongfeng's words, Lin Rei secretly smiled. With a thought, he made a list of all the materials needed to refine profound life and primordial yang and handed it to Gu Tongfeng. Here, these are the materials I need. Find them according to the list. Moreover, I want as many as you have. Do you understand? I want as many as you have. Hearing this, Gu Tongfeng was shocked. He opened the list in his hand and suddenly, after seeing the materials on the list, he was shocked. It wasn't that he wasn't calm, but he couldn't calm down at all. Although these materials weren't peerless, they were after all high-grade materials. Moreover, one or two of them were priceless. More importantly, he wanted as many as he could. At this moment, Gu Tongfeng was in a dilemma. What's wrong? You don't have any in the Nine Clouds Trading Company? Seeing Gu Tongfeng's reaction, Lin Rei frowned and asked. No. No. He didn't dare to lie and quickly said, it's like this. Are you sure you want as many as you can? Yes. Is there a problem? If there is, can I find someone else? After saying that, he revealed a disappointed expression and looked as if he wanted to leave. Seeing Lin Rei's reaction, Gu Tongfeng looked as if he was completely defeated. Fellow cultivator, I'll ask someone to prepare it for you. Yes, that's right. Seeing that he could solve this problem, Lin Rei didn't bother to move anymore. To be honest, Lin Rei didn't want to move anymore. Yes. In response to Lin Rei's words, Gu Tongfeng could only say yes because he wanted to get some clues about the venerable level alchemist from Lin Rei. Okay, this problem is solved. Now, let's talk about this elixir. Okay, please tell me. I can go to the third floor like this, but I heard that there are many rules here. You have to pay to enter, so you can see how much this elixir is worth. See if it's enough to enter the third floor. What? Suddenly, Gu Tongfeng was shocked. He knew about this rule, but to ask a divine venerable cultivator to do this, wasn't that the same as asking for death? Divine venerable cultivators in the realm of the gods were highly sought after by all the major sects and forces. Jiao Yun's action had already made his stance clear. Thinking of this, Gu Tongfeng felt a wave of disdain in his heart. However, facing Lin Rei who was stronger than him, Gu Tongfeng wouldn't offend Lin Rei for Jiao Yun's sake. Thinking of this, Lin Rei said, fellow cultivator, not only can your elixir enter the auction, you can also go to the third floor. Please wait for a moment, I'll ask someone to bring you up now. After saying that, Gu Tongfeng didn't dare to neglect Lin Rei. He turned around and walked to the door and said to the servant outside, you at the door, get your ass in here. At this moment, the servant who was waiting for Lin Rei and the others to come out suddenly heard the angry roar. His body trembled and he frowned, his heart was filled with doubts. However, he didn't dare to disobey Gu Tongfeng's order. He opened the door with doubts. The moment the door was opened, the servant saw Gu Tongfeng standing at the door with a look of annoyance. The servant knew that something bad was going to happen. As soon as the door was opened, the servant quickly bowed and said, Elder Gu, I wonder why you called me here? What's the matter? Seeing the servant's confused face, Gu Tongfeng sneered. Bring them to the third floor. Remember, these are Jiao Yun's guests. You must treat them well. As for your previous behavior, I will report it to the president. As for how the president will deal with you, it will depend on your luck. What? Guests. As he spoke, he turned his head to look. When he saw Lin Li's group, he was stunned. However, from Gu Tongfeng's words, he heard that his future and life were in the hands of these guests. As a servant who had learned to observe people's expressions since he was young, he quickly ran in front of Lin Rei and the others. With a plop sound, he knelt on the ground and kept kowtowing and begging for mercy. Guests, I didn't take good care of you just now and offended you. Please forgive me. It is my fault. I have eyes but failed to recognize Mount Tai. I have eyes but failed to see. I didn't know that you are my guests. It is my fault, Lin Rei. Looking at the servant in front of him, Lin Rei was speechless. What the hell is he doing? Why is he begging for mercy like this? Is there nothing else to say? Or, is this what the owner of Jiao Yun Trading Company taught you? Although he thought so, on the surface, Lin Rei's expression was still normal. Get up. I don't care about this matter. However, if you continue to talk nonsense, I will be very angry. Yes, I will bring you to the third floor now. Understanding Lin Rei's meaning, he turned around and led Lin Rei and the others outside. Farewell, fellow Taoist. I hope you have a good time. Rest assured, I will definitely prepare all the materials you need before you come out. Looking at the backs of Lin Rei and the others, Gu Tongfeng said. Then, he started to run around for Lin Rei's matter. At this moment, on the third floor, there was an empty space. In the center, there was an arena. Below the arena, there were 100 things placed around it. In the surroundings, the floors were separated. The first floor was the empty space now. The second floor also had 15 rooms. The third floor was the same as the second floor, but the only difference was that there were fewer rooms. There were only 9 rooms. At this moment, Lin Rei and the others were standing in front of one of the 9 rooms on the third floor. At this moment, the servant opened the door and introduced to Lin Rei and the others. Esteemed guests, this is the noble symbol of my Jianghu trading company. Winter Cloud Pavilion is one of the 9 rooms. There are spirit fruits as food, spirit tea, and various other benefits inside. I will be waiting outside. As long as you need it, I will be at your service. After saying that, the servant glanced at the 3 of them. Since there was nothing else, he said goodbye. Since it's like this, I will leave first. Dong. After the servant left, the door closed. At this moment, Little Snow returned to her previous self. She stood up and looked around curiously. Facing her, Lin Rei and Lu Yuan looked at each other and smiled bitterly. Okay, Little Snow, quickly look at what you need. This place is so cool. The items shouldn't be too bad. At this moment, Linley hurriedly reminded her when he saw that the auction was in full swing. That's right. With a scream, Little Snow turned around and walked to the window. Leaning against the window, she looked at the items being auctioned below. Suddenly, a glint flashed across her eyes. Heh. Seems like you like this Kai Huang. At this moment, the first floor was auctioning a set of middle-grade legendary equipment. And coincidentally, it was a set for girls. Looking at the Kai Huang, Lin Rei turned to Lu Yuan and reminded him, your daughter seems to like this set of equipment. As a father, you can't not buy it for your daughter, right? F***ck. Hearing this, Lu Yuan's heart skipped a beat. But there was nothing he could do. After all, he couldn't find any fault with Lin Rei's words. In the end, Lu Yuan could only grit his teeth and bear with the pain. He clutched his chest and said the word, "buy," painfully. Chapter 878. Oh yeah, hearing her father's words, Xiao Shui was overjoyed. After all, she was still a child. Which girl didn't like beautiful clothes? Looking at Xiao Shui's happy expression, Ying and Bing's figures appeared in Lin Rei's mind. Hee, how good would it be if the 2 of you were here? Of course, Lin Rei wouldn't let them come back. After all, they still had things to do. Moreover, their cultivation was at the Great Perfection Ultimate God Realm. Lin Rei didn't care about their safety at all. 3 million low-grade divine crystals. Lu Yuan immediately started bidding. He was never stingy when it came to his daughter. 3 million, 3 million, is there anyone else? 3 million going once. At this moment, the auctioneer on the first floor stage heard the voice from the third floor and suddenly became serious. In Jiuyun, who didn't know what the third floor represented. Thus, as a staff member, he naturally didn't dare to be careless or arrogant. 3 million going twice, F***ck, who is it? Isn't it just a mid-grade divine artifact set? Is there a need to go so far? Yeah, 3 million low-grade divine crystals, this is F***king, are you kidding? 3 million for the third floor? Who wouldn't dare to bid? Who doesn't know what the third floor represents? Isn't this F***king monopolizing the market? Yeah, this is too much. How shameless. At this moment, when the auctioneer shouted for the second time, the crowd couldn't remain calm anymore. Their faces were filled with complaints. Of course, who would care about these strangers who were like strangers? No one would care. The auctioneer wouldn't care, Lin Rei wouldn't care, and Lu Yuan wouldn't care. 3 million going thrice. With a bang, the healing auctioneer slammed the hammer on the table. The esteemed guest of the red-clothed third floor's Winter Cloud Pavilion has obtained it. Congratulations, ha ha ha, congratulations, congratulations. Fellow cultivator, congratulations on obtaining it. Yeah, congratulations, fellow cultivator. Congratulations, fellow cultivator. At this moment, as soon as the auctioneer finished speaking, the scene filled with resentment completely disappeared. Instead, it was replaced by endless congratulations for Lu Yuan. Looking at the crowd, Lin Rei could only think of one word: hypocrites. Of course, this kind of hypocrisy came quickly, and so did the confirmation. After all, this was an auction, so, hee, little Snow, the Emperor Kai Huang will send it over to you in a moment. When you wear it, you'll have a powerful defensive energy. At this moment, on the third floor of the Winter Cloud Pavilion, when Lu Yuan saw that he had won the bid for Kai Huang, a smile appeared on his face. Yes. That's a good thing for you, he agreed with Lu Yuan and looked down. Although Lin Rei's main purpose of coming here was to find medicinal herbs for Xiao Shui, he was no longer in a hurry after finding Gu Tongfeng. Just now, he thought of his wife, so Lin Rei wanted to see if there was anything novel and buy it for them. His gaze fell on the auction stage. At this moment, an attendant was dragging something from the backstage onto the stage. At this moment, the moment the attendant appeared, everyone's attention was focused on the item in the attendant's hand. Even Lin Rei wasn't surprised at all. Heh, the young auctioneer raised his head and looked at everyone's eyes. He smiled and said, "Everyone, this is the last item of our auction. It's also the finale of this once-in-a-millennium auction. I'm sure everyone is very curious about what the last item is. Of course, if it's the finale item, it must be very good, right? Yes, the finale item might not be a saint-level cultivation technique, but it's also possible to have a divine weapon as a gift. Hee, hurry up and take it out. Let's see what the final item is. It's so mysterious. Hurry up and take it out. Let's see what Jiuyun's finale item is." Hearing the crowd's words, the young auctioneer frowned. However, he quickly recovered and reminded the crowd in a gentle voice, everyone, please calm down. Calm down." No matter what the auctioneer said, the crowd was still the same. They didn't change at all. Sigh. After sighing helplessly, he changed the topic. He coughed softly and said in a deep voice, "Cultivation. This is the final item. I don't know its exact name, nor do I know its exact use. Preliminary evaluation shows that it's an ore. The ore is so hard that even a supreme-grade divine weapon won't be able to cut it open. It won't even leave a mark." Silence. At this moment, the voice of the young attendant entered the ears of everyone present. At this moment, the entire place naturally quieted down. Those who had been talking noisily and those who had gathered around had all quieted down. No one was happier than the auctioneer on the stage. Cultivation. This item's appearance is a little unexpected, but it's truly a treasure. The starting price is 3 million mid-grade divine crystals. Each increment is 500,000 mid-grade divine crystals. Let the auction begin. With a whoosh, the young auctioneer immediately removed the black cloth covering the tray. The true appearance of the item that the auctioneer had boasted about was revealed before everyone's eyes. Shit! What's that? Iron egg? That's right. What the hell is that? A ball of mud? Is that a treasure? Haha. Are you sure that a supreme-grade divine weapon won't be able to cut it open? Why do I feel that it's so unconventional? I feel that it's nothing more than a ball of mud. It's useless. Forget it. If this is the final item, then, wouldn't this daddy's shit be their family's heirloom? Ha ha ha. Humph. Seeing the disdain on the faces of the people below, the auctioneer was furious. He didn't expect the crowd before him to be so ignorant. Others might not know, but he knew very well how powerful those black balls were. Back then, he was the one who had tested those black balls. Furthermore, his expression back then was exactly the same as everyone else's. However, after the experiment, he regretted it. The reason for that was because those black balls were truly powerful. Even a supreme-grade divine weapon was no match for them. However, the crowd couldn't be blamed for their reaction. The final item was truly too similar to a ball of mud. Both balls of mud were of the same size. Furthermore, the most outrageous thing was that the 4 balls of mud were completely black. The black man had a look of disdain on his face. "Everyone, who are you bidding with? If you want it, then you can pay for it. We'll hand over the money and the goods at the same time. After we're done with the goods, you can go your way and I'll go mine. I'll say the same thing again. Those who are bidding, bid. Those who are not bidding, stay away from the entrance. Otherwise, you won't be able to stay in my 9-cloud trade association." After saying that, the young auctioneer snorted coldly and said no more. Perhaps the crowd wouldn't care about his reputation. However, who wouldn't give face to the 9-cloud trade association? They were the largest trade association in the entire domain. Who would dare to offend them? Perhaps even the 7 great sects wouldn't dare to be presumptuous. Sure enough, after the young auctioneer said those words, the crowd became completely silent. There was no longer any clamor like before. Although the crowd was filled with resentment, they still had to take the 9-cloud trade association into consideration. They didn't dare to be presumptuous. That's good. Looking at the silence below, the young auctioneer's lips curled into a smile. "Everyone, begin the bidding. The highest bidder wins." Silence. It was incomparably quiet. After the young auctioneer said those words, no one was willing to bid. The appearance of this scene was a blow to the young auctioneer. He couldn't figure out why no one would bid for such a hard item. Moreover, what surprised him the most was that the group of refining maniacs from the weapon refining sect didn't say anything. In the past, whenever they came across good ores or refining materials, they would spare no effort to bid. But now, what was going on? He didn't say anything and only frowned. He couldn't figure it out. However, he didn't bid for the item. He just waited quietly like this. In any case, there was only an hour. As long as an hour passed and no one bid, the item would be lowered. Although this was a symbolic insult to the auctioneer, there was no other way. Who asked this final item to look so unconventional? However, the Winter Cloud Pavilion was dead silent at this moment. Even Lin Rei couldn't help but frown when he saw the black ball of mud on the stage. His face was filled with disgust. Damn, who would want this thing? Ding. Abnormality detected. Host, do you want to investigate? Investigating will consume 300,000 exchange points. Do you want to continue? Suddenly, the system's voice appeared in Lin Rei's mind. Lin Rei was stunned. Abnormality? Where? As soon as the system's voice fell, Lin Rei's divine sense instantly left his body like a sharp sword. Like a ferocious beast, it rushed out in an instant. Its speed was astonishing. Lin Rei released his divine sense and enveloped the entire 9 Clouds Pavilion. However, after a round of investigation, Lin Rei didn't find any abnormality as mentioned by the system. Lin Rei had some doubts about this. Kid, since the system said there's an abnormality, it means there really is an abnormality. So, agree to it. Moreover, you have to know that as long as it's an item selected by the system, none of it will be a heavenly treasure that won't cause a commotion. Isn't it just 300,000? Is there a need to be so narrow-minded and stingy? Don't forget, you still owe the system a few million. Isn't the saying good? When you have too many debts, you don't worry. When you have too many lice, you don't itch. When you die, you'll have your eggs facing the sky. If you don't die, you'll live for thousands of years. What's there to be afraid of? Listening to the little dragon's out-and-out words, Lin Rei was stunned. He didn't know anything else. He didn't expect the little dragon to say something like this. However, thinking about it carefully, it really was the case. Anyway, he already owed so much. He wasn't afraid of owing more. After thinking it through, he immediately said, "System, investigate abnormality." Ding, good. Host, please wait a moment. The investigation has been activated. Investigating, please wait, it had been waiting for a long time. After hearing Lin Rei's order, the system instantly activated and began to investigate. To be honest, Lin Rei was actually very curious. For the system to detect abnormality, Lin Rei wanted to see what kind of item it was. Even though he had to spend a little money. "Mister, aren't you going to take action?" Although that thing's appearance is a little ugly, but as the saying goes, you can't judge a book by its cover. You can't just look at its ugly appearance and ignore it. If you do that, it will also hurt. On the side, hearing his daughter's words, Lu Yuan was also speechless. He held his forehead as if his head was hurting. However, Lin Rei was also speechless. He didn't expect that the little girl in front of him would care about the feelings of a stone. Sigh. That thing doesn't look like a good thing. It's useless to say that, so. Ding, investigation complete. Do you want to check? Just when Lin Rei and Snowy were talking, the system's voice suddenly sounded. Regarding this, Lin Rei was surprised. Then, he ignored Snowy and ordered the system. Check. Ding, good. Please wait a moment. After receiving the order, a light screen that only Lin Rei could see appeared in front of him. A line of information appeared. Heaven Annihilation Rock Fire, a type of flame formed from the precipitation of an undying volcano. In its dormant state, it looks like a stone but isn't. In its awakened state, it is like an undying flame that can burn everything in the world. Zhuang. Mudball? After seeing this information, Lin Rei couldn't help but look at the appearance of the mud ball on the auction stage. It was almost exactly the same as the information that the system had detected. At this moment, Lin Rei felt pain in his face. It was very, very painful. Damn, it can't be. I just said that I don't want to buy it. Damn it. Is it trying to kill me? He waved his hand and dispersed the light screen in front of him. Then, he looked at the mud ball with a bitter expression. Damn it. Can it still work? Look at you. If it's a rock fire, then so be it. Why didn't it stay in its awakened state? Why did it have to turn into a mud ball? He complained and thought about how to explain his previous words. 4,000,000 mid-grade divine crystals. Suddenly, a voice resounded throughout the auction house. Similarly, this voice also landed in Lin Rei's ears. Suddenly, Lin Rei's expression changed when he heard this bid. He was startled and his eyes fell on the room where the voice came from. The third floor. It was also the third floor. Moreover, it just so happened that the room was right across from him. Heh. Is it something that belongs to the Supreme One? Looking at the room opposite him, Lin Rei had a mocking expression on his face. Then, he didn't think about what he said before and called out a bid, 5 million. Qua, when the number of 5 million appeared, everyone in the auction house was stunned. Even Lu Yuan and Little Snow, who were under the same roof as Lin Rei, were shocked. Little Snow was fine. After all, she was under her father's protection and didn't know the number of 5 million. However, it was different for Lu Yuan. He was very clear about it. In the 7 sects, 5 million was enough for 50 years of cultivation resources, let alone 100 years. But now, the young man in front of him had opened his mouth and called out 5 million. Most importantly, the young man in front of him had just said that the rock fire wasn't good. But now, he was calling out a huge sum of 5 million. This was a slap in the face. Thinking about this, Lu Yuan couldn't help but laugh inwardly. Facing Lin Rei's slap in the face, he seemed to have found a bargaining chip that could make Lin Rei uncomfortable. He was very happy. Damn it. As expected, this old man caught me slapping his face. Feeling the change in Lu Yuan's mood, Lin Rei was shocked and depressed. However, when he thought about the rock fire, these things weren't so important anymore. Chapter 879. 6 million. The person in the room opposite Lin Rei once again offered a shocking price. Lin Rei was a little confused about this move. He clearly had such a good opportunity to make a move before, but why did he wait until now to make a move? What was he trying to do? Was he trying to disgust him? Although he didn't think about it before, after knowing the true appearance of the mud ball, how could Lin Rei give it up? Even if he didn't need it, but what about his disciple? As for his son, he could give it to anyone. As long as he absorbed the heavenly rock flame, it would be easy for him to break through to the sage realm. 7 million. Lin Rei was determined to get the heavenly rock flame. It didn't matter who came. Wasn't it just a competition of financial resources? Lin Li had never been afraid of anyone in this regard. 8 million. Fellow Daoist opposite, this item is very important to this old man. I wonder if I can form a good relationship with you and let me have it. Of course, if you feel that you have lost out, you can tell me what you want. As long as you can let me have the auction item, I will definitely reward you generously. How about it? Reward you generously. Hearing the words from the opposite room, Lin Rei didn't know what to say for a moment. He could only sneer. He didn't expect the person opposite him to be so stupid. However, Lin Rei didn't blame him. After all, it wasn't his fault that he was stupid. However, although it wasn't his fault that he was stupid, it was a different matter if he was in the way of others. He paused for a moment, then sneered and said in a low voice, "I'm sorry, but I also have a use for this thing. Although this thing is no different from a mud ball, I took a liking to it at first sight, so, sorry. Of course, as you said just now, if you can form a good relationship with me and let me have the item, then, you." Hearing Lin Rei's words, the person in the room opposite Lin Rei was shocked and anxious. He didn't expect Lin Rei to use his words just now to refute. "Okay, since you said so, then let's rely on our own abilities. I don't believe you can win against me." At this time, the other party couldn't stand it and chose to fight. Sure. It would be my pleasure. Although the current situation was not what Lin Rei wanted to see, the other party had already bullied him to his doorstep. There was no reason for him to not welcome them. Moreover, Lin Rei did not want to lose, no matter what. Interesting. I originally thought that no one would want to buy it, but now it has become a hot commodity. Moreover, there are people competing for it now. At this moment, the young auctioneer on the stage saw the situation on the third floor. Instead of stopping them, he was secretly delighted. Let's fight. The fiercer you fight, the more I, Jiu Yun, will gain. Continue, don't stop. If Ruo Lin, Lei, and the people in the opposite room knew what the young auctioneer was thinking, they would probably rush down and give him a big slap. 8 million, 8 million. Is there anyone else? 8 million going once. As the saying went, adding fuel to the fire was nothing more than this. The young auctioneer urged, 8 million going twice, 10 million. The moment the number of 10 million was called out, the whole place went into an uproar. 10 million was not 100 or 1,000. Apart from the 7 major sects, who else would have such a strong financial power? 11 million. The enemy continued to pursue Lin Li, refusing to let go. Lin Li raised an eyebrow at this, and a wave of impatience welled up within him. He didn't want to waste any more time in a situation like this. After all, he still had important things to do. He couldn't keep wasting time here. Thinking about this, Lin Rei raised his head and looked at the opposite room. He opened his mouth and said, 30 million. Pa. The moment Lin Rei raised the price from 10 million to 30 million, the sound of a teacup falling to the ground suddenly came from the opposite room. Not only that, the whole place went silent. Even the auctioneer was stunned. 30 million, this had completely exceeded their expectations. Regarding this result, no one was more satisfied than the Jianghu Trading Company and the auctioneer himself. However, the room opposite Lin Ray fell into a deathly silence at this moment. There was no sound at all. Lin Ray sneered at this. "Humph, you want to fight with me? You're still too inexperienced. However, because of you, I have to spend more divine crystals. Don't let me know who you are. Otherwise, I will make you regret what you did today." However, in another room on the third floor, the scene was very different from what Lin Ray had imagined. One of the old men was glaring at Lin Ray's room with red eyes. It was as if he wanted to rush up and kill someone. It was terrifying. "Calm down, elder, calm down. It's not worth it for this thing. Since the other party can take out 30 million, it means that his strength is not to be underestimated." Beside the old man, a woman in white clothes hurried forward to stop the old man when he was angry. She knew the old man's temper very well. If she did not stop him, the situation would be out of control. At the same time, she looked at Lin Ray's room with vigilance. She was curious. She was also very curious about which force could take out so many divine crystals at once. However, with the old man's current appearance, if they really met, it would probably be a world-destroying battle. In response, the woman suppressed her curiosity and stopped the old man from losing his temper. 30 million going once. The young auctioneer's voice came from the first floor. One could hear the excitement and agitation in his voice. 30 million, they really dare to take out such a price? For this black ball of mud, TSK. That's right. Which force is it that has such powerful financial resources? I'm afraid it's difficult to find out. However, there are only a few sects in the domain that can take out such a huge amount of money. No matter who it is, one thing is certain, and that is that they don't want to see it. Your words, really? At this moment, the conversation reached the third floor. However, everyone was indifferent to the topic of their conversation. However, only the old man who had bid with Lin Ray heard the discussion. His face suddenly darkened and he ordered the woman beside him, "Go, no matter what method you use, you must find out for me. I want to see which sect can afford such a huge amount of money." All right. She originally wanted to stop him, but she deeply understood that if she refused, it would definitely lead to a battle of words. Therefore, the woman chose to give up and compromise in the end. Lin Ray didn't know about this scene. Of course, even if he knew, he wouldn't care. As the saying goes, counter soldiers with arms, water with an earth weir. Since it was coming, he should take it as it came. 30 million going twice. 30 million going thrice. With a bang, the hammer fell. Congratulations, fellow Daoist, for winning your beloved item. As he spoke, the young auctioneer gestured to the attendant beside him. The attendant understood and carried the black ball of mud upstairs to Lin Ray's room. Everyone, the auction that occurs once in 1,000 years can be considered to have come to a successful conclusion. Regardless of whether you obtained your favorite item or not, you have already given me a lot of face by coming here. Thank you. As he spoke, he bowed to the crowd and continued, "This auction has come to a successful conclusion. Today, after 1,000 years, I hope that everyone will continue to support my Nine Clouds Commerce Hall." Clap, clap, clap. Suddenly, a series of claps resounded throughout the auction house. The auctioneer named Exian smiled and announced loudly, "Since that's the case, then I hereby announce that the auction has come to an end. Everyone, please leave." After saying that, without waiting for the crowd to react, Exian's figure flashed. She was still standing on the stage a moment ago, but in the next moment, she disappeared without a trace. Everyone who came back to their senses was shocked. However, it was only a shock. After all, This was 9 clouds, an existence that was on par with the 7 great sections. Gradually, the crowd stopped paying attention to Xian's departure and headed outside. Of course, after coming to 9 clouds, some people obtained what they wanted, while others obtained nothing. Dong, dong, dong. Someone knocked on the door of the Winter Cloud Pavilion on the 3rd floor. The person at the door was none other than Xian, who had disappeared earlier. She stood at the door with 2 attendants following behind her. Each of them was holding a plate with the heaven-extinguishing rock fire and the Emperor mining set. "Please come in." At this moment, a deep voice came from the room. Hearing that, Xian was startled. Then, she pushed the door open and walked in with the 2 attendants. In the room, Lin Rei was casually sitting at the side. Lu Yuan and Little Snow were also sitting at the main seats. They seemed to be the hosts. When Xian walked into the room and saw the seats in the room, she immediately treated Lu Yuan as the host. She stepped forward and bowed respectfully. "I am the auctioneer, Xian. These are the 2 items that you bid for. Please keep them well." As she spoke, Xian waved her hand at the attendant behind her. She instructed the attendant to place the 2 items on the table respectfully. Then, she returned to her original position and remained silent. Not bad. Seeing the 2 items appear in perfect condition, Lu Yuan nodded and smiled. With a thought, a pill bottle appeared in his hand. "Kid, this is the Water Cloud pill, a top-grade god-tier pill. There are 10 pills in a bottle to offset the price of these items. As for the rest, you can do as you see fit." After a brief introduction, he casually tossed a bottle of pills to Xian. Pills? Xian caught the pill and was stunned. This was the first time she had encountered such a situation. She also didn't expect that the other party would use such a method to pay. "What? You don't like them? Or are you saying that my top-grade god-tier water cloud pill can't compare to the price of these 2 items? Lu Yuan was displeased by Xian's shock. To be honest, if it wasn't for the fact that he didn't have so many god crystals, he probably wouldn't have taken out the pills that Lin Rei gave him. After all, the water cloud pill was a top-grade god-tier pill. If any one of them were to be auctioned, it would probably be worth several sets of Emperor-tier pills. Most importantly, the Water Cloud pill was a simplified version of the 9 Transformation Water Cloud pill. Although it wasn't as effective as the 9 Transformation Water Cloud pill, it could still restore a dying cultivator to his former glory. This, looking at the pill bottle in her hand, Xian was stunned. "Everyone, I can't make the decision on this matter." Then, Xian thought for a moment and said, "How about this? I'll go down and let the appraiser appraise it. If the items are really worth it, Jiao Yun will definitely accept them. I wonder. What do you think of my suggestion?" "Sure, you can go." At this moment, Lu Yuan subconsciously glanced at Lin Rei and replied, "Oh, by the way, when you go to appraise them, remember to ask Gu Tongfeng to come up and say that Lu Yuan said so." Okay." Hearing this, Xian was stunned. Then, she nodded in agreement. To be able to say appraiser Jiao Yun's name directly, the other party's identity was obvious. "Then I'll take my leave first." After bowing to Lu Yuan, Xian hurriedly left the room. However, the 2 attendants stayed behind. After all, the items had not been paid yet, so they didn't dare to leave and couldn't leave. Sigh. Looking at the door, Lin Rei sighed. "I didn't expect Jiao Yun to be so long-winded, but this is the last time. Next time, let's go somewhere else." "Okay, I understand." Lu Yuan didn't dare to say anything. Of course, he agreed with Lin Rei's words. The 2 of them didn't care about the attendants at all. It was as if they didn't exist and didn't exist. The room fell into silence. Time passed quickly. Lin Rei didn't know how much time had passed. He only remembered that he had eaten 4 or 5 fruits. Dong, dong, dong. someone knocked on the door again. However, from the knocking, one could tell that the person was very anxious or impatient. Come in. Lu Yuan didn't need to think to know that the person knocking on the door was Xian's auctioneer. Sure enough, as soon as Lu Yuan opened his mouth, the door was pushed open. Just as Lu Yuan expected, Xian's figure appeared, accompanied by Gu Tongfeng. Closing the door, Gu Tongfeng had an anxious look on his face. He took a step forward and came before Linli. He bowed and said, "Fellow Daoist, these are the materials you asked me to prepare. Please take a look, okay?" Got it. With a wave of his hand, Lin Rei put away Gu Tongfeng's space ring. After recognizing him as the owner, he entered the ring with his mind. The moment he entered the ring, a satisfied smile appeared on his face. The space inside the ring wasn't very big. It was only the size of a football field. However, at this moment, the ring was filled with Gu Tongfeng's materials. While Lin Rei was admiring the place, Gu Tongfeng separated all the materials. However, when Xian saw this scene, he was stunned. His brain couldn't process it. He knew Gu Tongfeng's strength, but now, Gu Tongfeng was bowing to a young man in such a respectful tone. He could understand why. "Hey, kid. Can the pill from before offset the price of the two items?" At this moment, seeing Xian's stunned expression, Lu Yuan's face turned cold and he asked in a low voice. Oh, that. Yes. When he came back to his senses and saw Lu Yuan's gloomy face, he hurriedly explained that. After the appraisal, your pill has exceeded the price of the two items. After he went to Gu Tongfeng's place, Xian not only learned the use and value of the water cloud pill, but also told him about Lu Yuan's true identity and strength. Chapter 880. As long as you can. Lu Yuan nodded and waved his hand. A gust of spirit energy rushed out and formed a hand that dragged the two trays to his side. He turned his head and looked at his daughter with doting eyes. He said softly, "Schwapper, come here." "Yes, I'm here." Seeing his daughter come over, Lu Yuan handed the tray to her. "This is yours. You can refine it when you go back." "I know." Little Snow took the tray and looked at the Emperor mining set. He caressed it lovingly as if he was caressing his own child. His actions were extremely gentle. Lu Yuan, seeing his daughter act this way, Lu Yuan speechlessly shook his head. He no longer paid her any attention, turning to look at Linli. Carrying the tray over, he said, "Here, this is yours. As for the mining emperor's divine crystals, I'll give them to you later." No need. It's not much. Besides, it's just a set of middle-grade divine artifacts. I, Lin Rei, can afford it. Lin Rei waved his hand indifferently as if this matter was insignificant. However, Lin Rei seemed to have forgotten that divine artifacts were indeed insignificant to a venerable level weapon refiner like him. They were dispensable. However, Lu Yuan and the others present were different. Divine artifacts were precious items that were hard to come by. No. Facing Lin Rei, Lu Yuan said seriously, "I, Lu Yuan, don't want to owe anyone. Besides, I can still afford it." Okay, do as you wish." Since Lu Yuan wanted to pay it back, he would pay it back. It didn't matter. On the side, Xian, Gu Tongfeng, and the two attendants felt helpless as they listened to the conversation between Lin Rei and Lu Yuan. However, they didn't dare to speak. Gu Tongfeng knew very well how terrifying Lin Rei was. "Okay, we've finished what we came here for. Shouldn't we leave?" Lin Rei got up and said. Yes, we should leave." Lu Yuan nodded. If that's the case, then, both of them, that. Gu Tongfeng panicked when he saw that Lin Rei and the others were about to leave. He had been waiting for so long. Whether he could break through to the late hierarch realm or even higher depended on the alchemy master that Lin Rei knew. Now that Lin Rei was about to leave, How could Gu Tongfeng not be anxious when he did not know anything about the alchemy master? What happened? Seeing that Gu Tongfeng wanted to say something but hesitated, Xiaochen smiled in his heart. He knew that Gu Tongfeng wanted to say something, but on the surface, he was full of doubt. He did not understand what Gu Tongfeng meant. You forgot everything? Seeing the puzzled look on Lin Rei's face, Gu Tongfeng suddenly became anxious. Fellow cultivator, you're really an eminent person who forgets things. Previously when I asked for clues about the alchemy master, you said that after you finished. Oh, you're talking about this. Lin Rei's sudden realization made Gu Tongfeng overjoyed. He was so excited. Yes, that's the thing. TSK, looking at Gu Tongfeng's expression, Lin Rei smacked his lips and said leisurely, how about this? Follow me to Lu Yuan's place and I'll tell you what you want to know. How about that? Hearing this, Gu Tongfeng was stunned and then looked embarrassed. Oh, okay. Since you feel embarrassed, then forget it. Anyway, I won't lose anything. Lin Rei said as he took off his clothes and looked like he was about to leave. Lin Rei's action made Gu Tongfeng anxious. What was there to hesitate about? Seeing that Lin Rei was about to leave, everything was not important anymore. He gritted his teeth, stomped his feet, and chased after him. As he chased, he growled, I'll go. Can we still compete? Hey, wait for me. At this moment, Gu Tongfeng was like a child. This scene fell into the eyes of Xian and the two servants. They were shocked. This was more terrifying than seeing the divine emperor swallow a sword. However, just like that, Lin Rei left Jiuyan with the three of them and walked towards Lu Yuan's house, leaving behind a few fools who were running around in their dreams. After a while, Xian and the two servants came back to their senses. Suddenly, their expressions changed and they said to the servants beside them, you can leave first. Remember not to tell anyone about this. If I hear about what happened here from other people, then don't blame me for not caring about your identities. No, we don't dare. Deacon even if you give us more courage, we won't tell anyone about what happened today. We'll definitely keep this matter to ourselves. Afraid that Xian would not believe them, the two servants hurriedly stretched out their hands and prepared to swear. Okay, seeing that you usually know your place, I won't make things difficult for you today. You can leave. With that, Xian walked out with a serious expression. Xian was still curious and doubtful about Lin Rei's identity. A young man was actually able to order the city lord of Heavenly Cloud City. Moreover, with just a few words, he was able to kidnap Gu Tongfeng. This was really hard for her to believe. At this moment, Lin Rei and the others arrived at the entrance of the earthen house. They lifted their feet and were about to enter. Wait! Suddenly, Lu Yuan's voice rang out. His figure flashed and appeared at the door. He reminded them, Brother Lin, I've set up a seal here. Without my seal, you can't enter. As he spoke, he raised his hand and a mysterious seal appeared. At first, it was very slow, but it became faster and faster until only an afterimage was left. But of course, that was only to others. To him, this was nothing more than child's play. In terms of forbidding spells and formations, there really weren't many people in the deity realm who could match him. But of course, up until now, Linley hadn't missed a single one. Okay. After a while, Lu Yuan stopped and said to Lin Rei and the others. He stepped aside and gestured for them to enter. Sigh. Looking at Lu Yuan, Lin Rei did not give him any face and said, Isn't it just a house? It's like a treasure trove. Air. When Lu Yuan heard this, an awkward expression appeared on his face. However, at the side, Xiao Shui did not give her father any face. She laughed happily. You're still laughing? Your father is losing face. Looking at the laughing Xiao Shui, Lu Yuan said in annoyance. Then, he ignored her. Laugh all you want. After all, there's no one else here. Thinking of this, alchemist Lu Yuan did not care too much. Senior, what do you think now? Lin Rei, who was walking at the front, stopped and turned his head to look at Gu Tongfeng. Looking at him, he smiled faintly and said, I know you're impatient. How about this? In a while, I'll be concocting pills. You can wait on me by the side. Who knows, maybe I'll be in a good mood and help you remove the hidden danger in your body. What? Could it be that you? Hearing Lin Rei's words, Gu Tongfeng's eyes widened. His gaze was filled with disbelief. He never thought that Lin Rei was the alchemist he was looking for. Thinking of this, Gu Tongfeng immediately knelt on one knee and begged for help. I beg you, please save me. I don't want to stay in this realm forever. I have a better future. Woo! As he spoke, Gu Tongfeng could not help but cry. His appearance was simply like crying. At this moment, who would have thought that Gu Tongfeng, who was at the top of the realm of the gods, would have such a side to him? Alright, hurry up and get up. Don't make a fool of yourself here. You don't know how to act like an old man. Do you still know shame? After saying this, Lin Rei turned around and ignored Gu Tongfeng. Instead, he walked towards the room that Lu Yuan gave him previously. Oh, right. When I'm concocting pills, remember not to let anyone disturb me. Otherwise, I'll get angry. When I'm angry, I'll bleed. Alright, I understand. Don't worry. With me, Lu Yuan, here, no one will be able to get close to your room. Alright. Remember your promise. Without saying anything else, he brought Gu Tongfeng into the room and began his concocting journey. As one of the 7 sects of the 9th province, the Rain sect should have pavilions, terraces, and pavilions. They should be a sacred and noble existence. However, there was none at all. Not only that, they were in a very sorry state. Is there no expert in the Rain sect? At this moment, a young man wearing a blue robe stood proudly in the sky above the Sword Sect's listening decree pavilion. His face was filled with disdain as he looked at the trembling crowd below. No way, there's really no one left? That's impossible. Isn't the Rain sect one of the 7 sects? Why are there so few people? Gloomily, he questioned the crowd below again. F***ck, big sister, you still have the cheek to say that? You brought 2 paragons to provoke us. You want our Rain sect to meet you like this? Furthermore, the most outrageous thing is that it's been such a long time. Every time you come, you'll grab the Rain sect's god emperor or early stage paragon cultivators to fight one-on-one. It's because of you that those elders, disciples, and even grand elders who were beaten by you before were forced into closed-door cultivation. What else do you want? Big sister, can you leave us a way out? You. The middle-aged man standing in front of the listening decree pavilion had a bitter expression. He wanted to cry but had no tears. That seems to be the case. At this moment, the middle-aged man standing beside the young man who looked like a subordinate but also like an elder was startled. He took a step forward and said, "Little you?" What he said isn't without reason. We've been challenging for a long time. During this time, your cultivation has increased greatly. Furthermore, your combat experience has increased greatly. Let's not talk about your cultivation reaching the great perfection God Emperor realm. Just your combat experience alone is terrifying. Furthermore, young master said that we should plan for the long term. It's not good for us to be like this. If we beat them until they're afraid, who would want to teach you a lesson in the future? Hong. Suddenly, a terrifying pressure appeared. In just a breath's time, there was a flash of brilliance. A terrifying pressure instantly pressed down on the 3 of them. Suddenly, the 3 of them fell from the sky as though they were weightless. What's going on? There's an expert. Furthermore, it doesn't seem like he's someone we can deal with. The 3 of them fell with solemn expressions. Two of them were fine, but at least the arrogant young man was extremely pale. His face was as white as a sheet of paper, causing the other two to worry. Little you, are you all right? That's right. Little you, nothing must happen to you. If anything happens to you, young master will skin me and Bai Qi alive. The three people who were falling at this moment were none other than Bai Qi, Dian Wei, and Lin Wanyu, who had accepted Lin Li's mission. The young man who had been clamoring earlier was Lin Wanyu, but she had disguised herself as a man for convenience. No, I can't fall any further. Seeing that he was about to land on the ground, Bai Qi made a decision. He crazily released his cultivation and got rid of the pressure that was pressing down on him. Then, he arrived beside Lin Wanyu and grabbed her in his hand. Then, he descended to the ground. As for Dian Wei, the moment Bai Qi got rid of the pressure, he also got rid of the mortgage and regained his freedom. When Dian Wei and Bai Qi got rid of the pressure, someone exclaimed, "Ha! Not bad. I didn't expect 3 ants to be able to get rid of my pressure. Who is it? Who is it?" After landing safely, Bai Qi looked at the pale-faced Lin Wanyu. His expression was cold as he turned around and looked around. "Humph, you're hiding your head but showing your tail. Why don't you show yourself? Little mouse. Heh. How boring. However, I didn't come down from the saints' world to meet such interesting guys like you in the godly realm." At this moment, the mysterious voice was heard again. "What? The saints' world?" Hearing that, Bai Qi was taken aback and his face turned solemn. At this moment, he realized that things might be getting out of hand. If the other party really came down from the saints' world, it was beyond what they could handle, unless Lin Rei took action in person. How is that possible? Dian Wei looked around in disbelief. The saints' world? A saint? Are you trying to fool a fool? Can a saint come down from the saints' world? Really, can you not be so careless with your reasoning? At that moment, everyone looked at Dian Wei as though they were looking at a fool. Tsk. How narrow-minded. Who says that saints can't come to the godly realm? The voice was full of mockery. It's fine if you don't believe me. I can prove it. Whoosh, suddenly, a sound of something breaking through the air was heard. It was so fast that it had already arrived before Dian Wei realized it. Oh, no, after a dull noise, Dian Wei tried to dodge, but it was already too late. A streak of golden light hit Dian Wei, throwing him into the air like an object in a perfect parabola, before he landed on the ground in a perfect posture. Pooh! The moment Dian Wei landed on the ground, he spat out a mouthful of scarlet blood. His face was pale, and his chest was in turmoil. He couldn't help but spurt out a mouthful of blood. Sigh. It seems that I have to report this to young master. Looking at Dian Wei, Bai Qi thought to himself. Others might not know, but he was well aware of Dian Wei's strength. Now that he was sent flying and injured by a single attack, his strength was probably beyond that of a god. Young master, we're in trouble. The Rain Sect has discovered that a saint from the saints' world has been injured. With that in mind, Bai Qi didn't dare to be careless at all. He immediately took out the communication jade slip that Lin Rei gave him before he left and crushed it. Whoosh! A blue ray of light instantly shot out, shooting into the distance and disappearing into the vast horizon. Stunned. Chapter 881. At the same time, the Rain Sect wasn't the only one that was caught off guard. The same was true for the Sword Sect. Originally, they had been keeping their distance from each other quite smoothly, just like with Lin Wanyu. But halfway through, a saint had appeared, and Tianyun and Life were gradually losing ground. They had no choice but to take out their jade slips and send a message to Linli. The Pill Sect. All of the Tool Sect members had encountered similar situations. Without exception, they had sent word to Linli as soon as they realized that they were no match for the enemy. However, Linli was currently in the city magistrate's mansion in Heavenly Cloud City, focused on the most critical moment of his pill concoction. In the alchemy room, Lin Rei was looking at the cauldron in front of him with a solemn expression. His hands were constantly forming seals. The illusory spirit blood fire wrapped around the cauldron. Wisps of pill fragrance floated out of the cauldron and filled the room. There's actually such a superb alchemy technique in this world. This is really shocking. Gu Tongfeng, who had been watching from the beginning to the end, was filled with hope. Sigh. If I met you, perhaps everything would be different. Perhaps I would be standing at the peak of the divine world and not just a mere mid-hierarch. There were sighs, regrets, and rejoicings. He regretted that he didn't meet Lin Rei in the first half of his life. He rejoiced that he met Lin Rei in the second half of his life. He didn't say anything. He just stood there quietly like an alchemy apprentice. If the alchemy guild saw this scene, they would be shocked. A saint-grade alchemist and an alchemy apprentice who was at the peak of mid-hierarch. This combination, not to mention the divine world, perhaps even the holy world, didn't have one. Well, it couldn't be said that there weren't any. It could only be said that there were very few of them. After all, it was extremely difficult to become a saint-grade alchemist no matter where it was. However, those who could reach this level were all people with heaven-defying talent. Swoosh, swoosh, and then, right in this silent and solemn room, 4 rays of blue light suddenly shot into the room, coming to a halt in front of Linley. As soon as the 4 rays of blue light arrived in front of Linley, 4 figures appeared. Young master, bad news. While we were accompanying estranged on a mission in the Sword Sect, a saint who claimed to have descended from the saints' world suddenly attacked and obstructed us. We were no match for him, so please help us, young master. Young master, we've been accompanying the young miss on her mission in the Rain Sect. I don't know why people from the saints' world have come to stop us. Jian Wei and I are no match for them. Husband, Sister Bing and I were accompanying Little 4 on a mission at the equipment refining sect when we were stopped by a saint from the holy world. We were no match for him. Young master, we are no match for him. A saint from the Danzong sect suddenly appeared, and we are no match for him. We are in danger. 5th young master is currently being suppressed, and we have tried our best to save him, but to no avail. The 4 figures all began to explain to Linley, but Gu Tongfeng, who was standing off to the side, was completely stunned. These 4 images appeared so quickly that he didn't even have time to react before they were over. Boom! Suddenly, the moment the 4 images stopped speaking, Linley, whose eyes had been tightly shut, suddenly opened them. A terrifying, heaven-shaking murderous aura instantly surged out, taking physical form and sweeping towards the surrounding area. A saint? His tone was cold like a ghost from the underworld. I haven't gone up yet. I didn't expect that you self-proclaimed saints would dare to come down and obstruct my disciple. Humph, he snorted coldly but didn't move. This was the most critical moment of the alchemy process. If he acted now, Little Snow's life might be in danger. Moreover, the last moment would be over soon. Of course, the most important thing was that he couldn't split himself in 2 no matter how strong he was. However, Lu Yuan was a late-stage ultimate god. He could go and obstruct the enemy and wait for his rescue. At this moment, Lu Yuan, who was waiting outside, suddenly felt a terrifying murderous aura. He was stunned and instinctively grabbed Little Snow and rushed towards the distance. However, when he came back to his senses, he realized that he wasn't on the run anymore. He was on the run, and the murderous aura was coming from the place where Lin Rei was refining the pills. Lu Yuan panicked when he thought of Lin Rei's alchemy. He didn't want anything to happen at this moment. It was a matter of life and death. He wanted to rush in and check the surroundings, but he remembered Lin Rei's order that no one was to disturb him, otherwise, forget it, let's wait a little longer. If he hasn't come out, then. Lu Yuan returned to his original position, but his heart was no longer calm. Hurry up, Lin Rei couldn't help but urge them. He didn't want his wife, disciple, and subordinates to be in danger. Lin Rei didn't believe that Ying and the others could defeat the people from the holy world. Although they were all paragons, as warlords, before Linley made his breakthrough, in the end, they would only be able to become paragons. No matter how much they trained, in the end, they wouldn't be able to break through. Increase it, the more he thought about it, the more anxious he became. Lin Ray began to refine the pills using the heart refinement technique. Although this method could produce pills quickly, it was very taxing on the mind. Lin Ray wouldn't have used the heart refinement technique if he wasn't forced by the current situation. Are you crazy? Do you know the consequences of using the heart refinement technique? At this time, the little dragon wasn't going to sit around and wait for death. The little dragon knew that although the mental exhaustion could be recovered, it would take a long time. Lin Ray still had a mission to complete. If he couldn't complete it within the time limit, he would die, I know. Lin Ray didn't avoid the little dragon's words. Although the heart refinement technique consumes the mind, but, against a saint, their strength isn't enough. I have to get there as soon as possible, or their lives will be in danger. I don't want what happened back then to happen again. I can't bear it. At this moment, the little dragon fell silent. He knew about this, so, sigh, I really owe you, kid. As he spoke, a stream of mental energy rushed into the pill cauldron and accepted Lin Ray's pill refinement, forcing Lin Ray's mental energy back. He looked at the little dragon in surprise. He didn't expect the little dragon to personally take action. However, Lin Ray's heart warmed at the little dragon's actions. Thank you, thousands of words could be summed up into one sentence. Thank you, really. Lin Ray was really grateful to the little dragon. If it weren't for the little dragon, he would have died more than 800 times. Humph, you kid, the little dragon wasn't used to seeing Lin Ray's seriousness. Just don't cause trouble for me in the future. That would be the best way to thank me. However, for the sake of pill refinement, the little dragon quickly interrupted Lin Ray and said, all right, just wait. Leave the rest to me. Okay. Nodding, Lin Ray left the pill refinement. Now that he was free, Lin Ray quickly took out a few voice transmission jade slips. He took one out and injected a trace of spiritual energy into it. Sakura, your time is up. The disciples are in trouble. Quickly go to the sword sect to support them. You must arrive within a day as fast as you can. Otherwise, they will be in danger. Then, he released the jade slip and it turned into a blue light that instantly rushed out of the room and disappeared into the horizon. Lin Ray took out another jade slip and said, Biyao, babe, no matter where you are, you must arrive at the Rain sect within a day. Wanyu is in trouble. I don't know why the people from the holy world suddenly descended. Quickly, different from before, it turned into a blue light that instantly rushed out of the room and disappeared into the horizon. Gu Feng, Little 3, quickly go to the Danzong sect to support them. Little 5 is in trouble. The people from the holy world suddenly descended and are currently at the Danzong sect. You all need to delay them. Leave the rest to me. You must arrive within a day. Ghost reversal. One of the secret methods. It consumes 1/5 of your blood essence. It will cause a certain amount of damage to the user. 2 million exchange points. Ding, the above is the result of the system's search according to the host's inner needs. Lin Ray did not say anything. At this moment, his face was dark and his heart was filled with disdain. Damn, system, why are you scamming me again? You wanted 3 million before. Lin Ray looked at the 3 items in front of him. Firstly, the ghost reversal was impossible. Consuming blood essence was not something that Lin Ray could do. After all, he still had to fight against a saint. As for the divine effect talisman, it was not much. The main thing was that it was 500,000 more than the first item. As a person who had negative assets, Lin Ray would undoubtedly choose the first item. System, the first one. Ding, okay, please wait for a moment. Ding, the spatial directional transmission array has been purchased. It has been placed in your storage space. Ding, 1 million exchange points have been deducted. You now owe the system 7 million. Hearing that he owed the system money, Lin Rei did not want to say anything more. Okay, you can leave now. After saying that, Lin Rei left the space. However, the moment he left the system, an extremely pure pill fragrance entered his nose. The pills are formed? For a moment, Lin Rei thought of this. However, when he opened his eyes, Lin Rei was stunned. He saw 73 colored pills floating in the air, emitting a tempting pill fragrance. 100% top quality pills. Not bad. I didn't expect the little dragon to have such a high level of pill Dao. Lin Rei was very surprised to see the pills that the little dragon had concocted. 100%. This was the result of his countless days and nights of hard work, and the little dragon was able to do it so easily. Okay, hurry up and put them away so that we can save people later. He glared at Lin Rei, then disappeared into the system without saying anything else. According to the little dragon's instructions, he took out 3 bottles, divided the pills into 3 parts, and put them into 3 different bottles. After doing all this, Lin Li said to the stunned Gu Tongfeng, "Old man, you were here just now. Here's a pill for you. After you eat it, your hidden disease will be cured, thank you." Gu Tongfeng took the pills gratefully. Taoist Lin Rei, if you don't mind, I am willing to go with you. I was waiting for you to say that. Hearing this, Lin Rei smiled and said, "Let's go. There is no time to waste." Then, he pushed the door open and walked out. At this moment, Lu Yuan saw Lin Rei. He immediately stepped forward and looked at him expectantly. Pills, here, these are the mysterious life pill and the primary yang pill. Let your daughter eat one every day. When I break through to the 6th level of the divine grade, I will start to treat your daughter. However, before that, you have to go to the equipment refining sect with me. My 2 wives and disciple are being suppressed in the equipment refining sect by people from the holy world. I need to save them. Then, he looked at Lu Yuan, wanting to see the change in Lu Yuan's expression. People from the holy world? Lu Yuan was confused. People from the holy world were in the equipment refining sect? And they even suppressed Lin Rei's wife and disciple? This happened too suddenly, and Lu Yuan didn't come back to his senses for a moment. Okay. It's up to you whether you want to go or not. Without giving Lu Yuan time to think, Lin Fan turned around and walked to the side. With a thought, he took out the spatial directional transfer formation from the storage space and injected his spiritual energy into it. A vortex appeared in front of Lin Rei, and a suction force instantly appeared. Wait, at this moment, Lu Yuan's voice came from behind. In response, Lin Rei turned his head and looked, Taoist Lin, I will go with you. Then, he pulled his daughter behind Lin Rei, ready to fight at any time. Looking at Lu Yuan, Lin Rei smiled and nodded. Okay, thank you. Then, he stepped into the spatial directional transfer formation with Lu Yuan, Xiao Shui, Gu Tongfeng, and Lin Rei to provide support. Chapter 882. At this moment, in the square in front of the equipment refining sect's main hall, there was a hubbub of voices, but the surrounding environment was dilapidated, and most of the people around had bloody holes in their bodies. Everyone looked at the 3 women standing in the middle of the square with a dignified look on their faces. These 3 women were the culprits of the current situation, but fortunately, when the equipment refining sect was being humiliated, an accident happened. And this accident was none other than the sudden appearance of the saint, who had suppressed the 3 women. At this moment, in mid-air, more than a dozen people stood proudly, looking down at the people below with contempt. Their eyes were full of disdain, as if they were not looking at people at this moment, but ants. The young man in the lead had a jade-like face, sword-like eyebrows, and starry eyes. He was tall and straight, and his body was full of righteousness. However, his expression did not match his righteousness at all. The young man looked at the 3 women in the middle of the square below, and the corners of his mouth curled up into an evil smile. He said in a magnetic voice, "Why are the three of you so angry? Can't you just sit down and talk? Do you have to make the equipment refining sect lose face like this?" Although his words were articulate and full of confidence, anyone who was observant would be able to see the lust in the young man's eyes, and it was clear what he was thinking. "Ha!" a woman in a black robe sneered, and her face was full of sarcasm. She looked at the sky with an unyielding and disdainful look. "You talk so much about justice. Let me ask you, we have nothing to do with the equipment refining sect," and, suddenly, a murderous aura rushed out, and she continued to growl. "Who are you in the equipment refining sect? What right do you have to pretend to be a big wolf? What do the things here have to do with you? You talk so much about righteousness and morality. Dare I ask, are you a clown invited by monkeys?" Pfft! As soon as the black-clothed woman's voice fell, the young man's follower couldn't help but burst into laughter. However, as soon as he laughed, he felt that it was inappropriate and quickly suppressed it. He looked at the young man with an apologetic gaze. In response, the young man glared at him, and then turned his head with a gloomy face. At this moment, the righteous aura could be felt from his body, and his anger was combined with his murderous aura. He was like a villain. "Heh, you're good. You've successfully piqued my interest." As he spoke, he glanced at the middle-aged man beside him. The middle-aged man understood what he meant and nodded. Then, he disappeared in a flash. Seeing the middle-aged man suddenly disappear, the three women instantly became alert and looked around. "Heh. Not bad, you hid well, but, come out." At this moment, the woman in black stared ahead with a cold smile on her face. Then, a sword shadow flew out of her hand and charged forward. The instant the sword's shadow left his hand, it began to rapidly expand. It was originally 3 inches long, but now it was 3 feet long. "Break!" a voice rang out. This voice was extremely ethereal and filled with the sound of the great Tao. The instant this voice rang out, the 10-meter-long sword's shadow that had been moving as fast as lightning came to an abrupt halt. It stopped in the air, and in the next moment, a crack appeared, bit by bit. As the crack slowly spread, it finally collapsed completely. Pooh! The moment the sword's shadow collapsed, the woman in black spat out a mouthful of blood. Her body trembled and she took a step back. Her face was pale and her internal organs were in turmoil. Waves of pain came from her internal palace. She vaguely felt that her Dan palace was also affected. She raised her head and looked with a terrified expression. I didn't expect this. Is this the strength of a sage? Cultivating the great Tao and comprehending the laws. Although it is possible in the divine realm, but I'm not a sage. Could it be that I'm going to fall here today? As she thought about it, 2 streams of tears flowed out of her eyes. She closed her eyes and a figure appeared in her mind. Husband, I can't accompany you anymore. I only hope that you won't end up like Sister Ling when she left. I only hope that you can be safe. That's all that matters. This woman was none other than Ing, who had asked Lin Ray for help. As for the other 2 women, they were naturally Bing and Lin Yuro. She suddenly came back to her senses and turned to look at Bing and Little Four. A smile appeared on her face as she said, Bing, this time, I'll have to trouble you to take care of my husband. What? Sister Ing, you. What are you doing? Hearing this, Bing's heart trembled. A bad premonition surged in his heart. Even Xiao Si, who was standing to the side, was shocked. He looked at his master's wife with doubt and worry. Sigh. She sighed and looked sad. There's no other way. A sage is a sage after all. He's not someone a divine realm expert can resist. Moreover, I'll die to save the 2 of you. This is a good deal. As she said that, a determined look appeared on her face. Her tone was firm as she said, moreover, as Little Four's mistress, if I can't protect him, How can I be worthy of being his mistress? As she said that, she smiled freely and said to Bing, in a moment, I'll launch an attack. You send little four away from here as quickly as possible. Let SSSS go find my husband. Remember. Take good care of my husband. After saying that, Ing turned around and looked at the middle-aged man in front of her. Her expression was cold. Without waiting for Bing to react, she stomped her foot and shot forward like an arrow on a bow. Whoosh! With a piercing sound, Ing turned into a stream of light and arrived in front of the middle-aged man in an instant. She casually waved her quasi-saint artifact longsword and stabbed toward the middle-aged man's heart. Feeling a sense of threat, the middle-aged man stared blankly at the longsword that was about to pierce his heart. Then, he sneered. Heh! I didn't expect to meet someone as talented as you in this small divine realm. If it weren't for the young master, I'm afraid I wouldn't be able to resist taking you as my disciple. But it can't be helped. As he spoke, the middle-aged man sighed regretfully. Then, he waved his hand and a wisp of agility appeared. The 3 feet of cold light that was about to pierce through the middle-aged man's heart suddenly changed direction when it was about to reach his chest. It could be said that the longsword deviated from its original trajectory. What? Looking at the longsword that had gone out of control, Ing was shocked. He knew that something bad was going to happen. A sense of death welled up in his heart. In the distance, Bing, who had been watching the battle, couldn't help but cover her mouth when she saw this scene. 2 streams of tears flowed out of her eyes. At this moment, she didn't rush forward. Instead, she grabbed Little 4 and activated her cultivation. She was ready to leave at any time. Bing wasn't afraid of death. But she didn't want anything to happen to Little 4. Die. Looking at Ing, who had closed his eyes and was about to die, the middle-aged man trembled. However, it only lasted for a moment. After he recovered, a sinister look appeared on his face. He aimed his fist at Ying's heart and sped up. Little by little, the feeling of death was getting closer and closer. Even at this moment, Ing could feel that the god of death was beckoning him. How dare you, waiting for death was a very painful thing. However, just as Ing was waiting for death to come, a hysterical voice came from the side. The voice was so loud that everyone couldn't help but cover their ears. They all turned to look at the source of the voice. At this moment, Ing, who had been waiting for death with his eyes closed, trembled when he heard the voice. A figure appeared in his mind. That figure was an existence that could make her feel at ease. That figure was an existence that could make her feel happy. That figure was none other than her husband, Lin Ray. He came from Heavenly Cloud City using the directional teleportation array. Lin Ray. This is what this saint wants to do. It's not up to an ant like you to interfere. Hearing the angry roar, the middle-aged man felt that his dignity was being challenged. Then, he sped up his fist and aimed it at Ying's heart. Looking at this familiar and comforting figure, my heart couldn't help but tremble. I couldn't help but cry. At this moment, Ing didn't care about Lin Ray's scolding. She ran to Lin Ray and hugged Lin Ray like a little woman who was wronged. She buried her head in her husband's chest and cried out loud. Sigh. It's been hard on you. Feeling his wife who was trembling in his arms, a wave of guilt arose. If this was the case here, then what about other places? Thinking about this, Linley began to grow increasingly frantic. Ing, now isn't the time to cry. Ask for help from everywhere. Right now, I don't have much time. Take me to deal with these people, then head to the next sect. Saying that, he gently pushed Ing away and said seriously, remember, don't have the thought of self-destructing in the future. Otherwise. Saying that, he raised his hand and scratched Ying's nose. Then, he said softly, go, protect Bing and Little Four. Leave the rest to me. Saying that, he didn't say anything else. He turned around and took a step forward. His aura didn't decrease but instead increased. He came to the middle-aged man who was pushed back 1,000 meters. At this moment, the middle-aged man still hadn't recovered from the fact that he was pushed back. His face was extremely ugly. I swore that I would kill anyone who hurt my wife. No matter who you are, even if you are a saint, you will die. So, die. Saying that, he raised his hand and held the Chaos Dragon Spear tightly. A terrifying spiritual energy mixed with the illusory spirit blood fire was transferred to the Chaos Void Spear. Martial God's first style, space strangulation. Facing a saint, Lin Rei didn't dare to be careless. Although he had killed a saint in the late stage of the ancient corpse trove, but even so, Lin Rei was still very careful. How is this possible? How can an ant from the realm of the gods have such powerful energy? Feeling the sudden danger, the middle-aged man came back to his senses. He looked at Lin Rei's battle technique in shock. His face was full of disbelief and he didn't want to believe it. Heh, you haven't seen it before, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. The way I see it, you aren't even an ant. When you had the intention to kill my wife, you were already a dead man. Martial God strategy, activate. What? Oh no. Sensing that the space around him was about to overlap, the middle-aged man's face turned gloomy. Without even thinking, he raised his hand, and a 3-foot-long blade of cold light appeared in his hand. Activating his own battle technique, he charged towards Linley. Ant, how dare a grain of rice compete with the sun and moon? Die. Lin Rei didn't care about the middle-aged man's attack. At this moment, he only had one goal, and that was to kill the man in front of him. After Lin Rei increased the amount of spiritual energy transferred, the martial god strategy, which was slowly overlapping the space, suddenly became energetic as if it had taken an aphrodisiac. With the middle-aged man as the center, the overlapping space increased by 6 to 7 times. Stunned. Chapter 883. Bastard. Block it for me. Feeling the sense of death that he had felt for a long time, he knew that he could no longer treat the person he was facing as a true supreme god. Not a supreme god, but a saint. The middle-aged man had already regarded Lin Rei, who was rushing towards him, as a saint. Furthermore, Lin Rei was a saint whose strength far surpassed his own. He knew that he was no match for Lin Rei. Although he knew that he was no match for Chu Feng, he could not allow himself to be trampled upon by others. He would not allow that. His dignity would not allow that. His face as a saint would not allow that. Although he knew that he was no match for Chu Feng, he had no choice but to use all of his strength in order to survive. He did not want to kill Chu Feng. He only wanted to survive. Humph. Do you think you can block me? Seeing the middle-aged man's defensive posture, Lin Rei revealed a disdainful expression. Lin Rei had already regarded the middle-aged man as a dead man. Break for me. Gotcha. Gotcha. Suddenly, Lin Rei's figure arrived. His long spear was aimed straight at the middle-aged man's heart. However, the long spear that was about to pierce through the middle-aged man's heart stopped when it was 3 feet away from the young man's heart. What followed was the sound of glass shattering. Gotcha. The sound of glass shattering became more and more intense. In the end, a loud bang resounded throughout the entire equipment refining sect. The middle-aged man, who was originally standing still, was sent flying backwards. What was different was that the middle-aged man was not injured before. However, it was different now. There was an obvious bloody hole in his chest where his heart was. Scarlet blood was flowing out from the bloody hole. His blood was flowing non-stop. His complexion was deathly pale. If it were not for the fact that the middle-aged man was still alive and moving, people who saw him would probably think that he was a dead man. Cough, cough, pfff, he fell to the ground. His expression was hideous and filled with pain. He gritted his teeth and endured the pain to support his body. When he lowered his head and saw the bloody hole in his chest, the middle-aged man's expression changed dramatically. Then, with a thought, a bottle of medicinal pellets appeared in his hand. Should I say something about you? Or should I say that you're stupid? You don't really think that I'll just watch you eat the pill and wait for you to recover before asking me for help, do you? When Linley's voice entered the middle-aged man's ears, his body trembled. His hand trembled, and the pill bottle in his hand fell to the ground. He stared blankly at Linley, his mouth slightly open, his voice trembling. Fellow Daoist, I am a cultivator from the Huang family in hell. I came here because I had no other choice, and attacking your Daoist companion is also my fault. I apologize to you here, As long as you let me go today, when I return to the clan, I will definitely report to the patriarch and repay your kindness of not killing me with generous rewards. How about it? As he said that, a hint of pride appeared on the middle-aged man's face. However, he had forgotten that this was not the saint's world, and Lin Rei had no idea where the Huang family was from. At this moment, he only knew that this person wanted to kill his wife before the new year. Lin Rei had nothing to say to this kind of person. The only thing he could do to get rid of the hatred in his heart was to repay this kind of person. Kill, that's right, kill. As long as he killed the middle-aged man, the hatred in his heart would lessen a lot, and the hatred in his wife's heart would also lessen a lot. So, looking at him and the middle-aged man, Lin Rei's eyes were filled with interest. It was as if he was watching a fool perform alone. Huang family, hell, TSK, yes, Huang family. As long as you let me go, I guarantee that you will get a generous reward from the Huang family. Bullshit. When the middle-aged man heard Linley mention the two words Huang clan, he thought he had some hope. But who would have thought that in the next moment, Linley's words would stun him? Bullshit Huang family. As he said that, Lin Rei took a step forward and arrived in front of the middle-aged man. He squatted down and reached out to grab the middle-aged man's hair. His expression was cold as he sneered, "The Huang family you speak of is useless to me. Don't talk about the Huang family. You have to remember that this is the saint's world. The Huang family you speak of is in the saint's world. So, if I kill you and everyone here, no one will know." At this moment, Lin Rei said it very casually. It was as if killing people was nothing to him. However, the others were not. Especially the young man who was standing in the air and looking down. The moment he heard what Huang Xiaolong said, a murderous aura instantly shot up. At this moment, the young man suddenly took a step back. His face was filled with shock and fear. Yes, suddenly, an existence who claimed to be a saint was scared at this moment. He was not the only one. Even the others who were brought by him had an extremely ugly expression when they heard what Huang Xiaolong said. However, although they were not convinced, they knew very well that the person Lin Rei was grabbing was not just anyone. It was a very famous cultivator in the Earth domain, Huang Zhongren. He was a famous veteran Dao fruit saint. Moreover, his strength was at the peak of the Dao fruit saint realm. He could break through to the next realm at any time. But now, he was defeated in the divine world. Moreover, he was defeated by an ant who was only a mid-ultimate god. Although they really wanted to go up and punish the ant in their hearts, in the face of Lin Rei's powerful strength, they could only choose to remain silent in the end. They did not dare to say anything even though they were angry. No. Don't. Huang Zhongren was really afraid of Lin Rei. He did not expect that it would be useless even if he brought up his family. I've wasted too much time on you. So, die. After saying that, he did not give Huang Zhongren any chance to react and instantly used the illusory spirit blood fire. Boom! A part of the illusory spirit blood fire separated from the surface of Lin Rei's body and transferred to Huang Zhongren. In an instant, a scream resounded throughout the entire equipment refining sect. When everyone heard it, their hearts could not help but tremble. Some of the more timid ones felt Lin Rei's murderous aura. Their legs went weak and they directly knelt on the ground. They lowered their heads and did not dare to look directly at him. Puff. 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 The moment the illusory spirit blood fire touched Huang Zhongren, it pounced on him and wrapped him up like a mother who had found her son who had been lost for many years. The illusory spirit blood fire was one of Lin Rei's ultimate moves. It was the nemesis of souls. Moreover, it was very hot. The moment it touched Huang Zhongren, it was like a maggot attached to the bone. No matter how hard Huang Zhongren tried, he could not get rid of the burning pain of the illusory spirit blood fire. At this moment, the young man standing in the air could not help but stand up and order Lin Rei when he saw his subordinate being tortured like this. Yes, it was an order. How dare you, thief! How dare you touch my people? Do you really think I don't exist? Hearing this, Lin Rei looked up. The moment his eyes fell on the young man, Lin Rei was stunned. Then, a cold smile appeared on his face. Heh! Idiot! If you don't want to die so quickly, be quiet for a while. Otherwise, let's do it here. You! The young man's face turned red. It was not because he was shy, but because he was sullen. He felt that his face and dignity were being despised. One should know that as a true disciple of the Mystic Moon Sect, he had an extremely high status in the holy world. Wherever he went, he would be worshipped and flattered. But now, he was being threatened and looked down on by an existence that was like an ant in his eyes. Moreover, his body had failed to live up to his expectations and had even taken a step back. At this moment, his heart was blinded. At this moment, Lin Rei did not have the chance to deal with the person in the air. He turned around and looked at his two wives and disciple in the distance. A smile appeared on his face as he walked towards them. At this moment, the scene was silent. Lu Yuan brought his daughter and Gu Tongfeng to Lin Rei's side. But unlike before, their eyes were filled with respect, incomparable respect. Lin Rei only smiled and did not say anything. He nodded at the three of them and continued to walk towards his wife. However, there would always be a group of people in the world who would not die if they did not seek death. Just like now. Bastard, men, tie him up. I want to let him know that I, Mu Bai, am not someone a mere ultimate god cultivator can look down on and disrespect. At this moment, Mu Bai's face was ferocious. When the people behind him heard the order, their faces changed. The image of Huang Zhong being hung up and beaten up appeared in their minds. They laughed bitterly in their hearts. To be honest, they wanted to curry favor with Mu Bai. But they were not fools. In order to gain status, their lives were very important. If they lost their lives, what was the point of having status? But, what made them helpless was that Mu Bai was a direct disciple of the Mystic Moon Sect. No matter how afraid they were of Lin Rei, when they thought of the ruthless methods of the Mystic Moon Sect, if something happened to Mu Bai here, would they still be able to live? Go. Are you not going to listen to this saint's orders? Sensing that the people behind him had not made any move, Mu Bai turned around. His face was ferocious and terrifying as he gritted his teeth and said, I will wait for your orders. In the end, the people could not overcome the fear of the Mystic Moon Sect behind Mu Bai and could only choose to compromise. A few people walked out and looked at each other. They nodded heavily as if they had made an important decision. Sigh. If we knew that we would encounter such a situation, why would we get involved in this mess? That's right. Forget it. Mu Bai is watching. Let's hurry up and make a move. Otherwise, our sect will. Since you have chosen to make a move, why hesitate? Lin Rei, who was stopped by Mu Bai, saw that the saints had stepped out but did not make a move. For Lin Rei, who was in a hurry to leave, how could he waste time? The other party did not make a move, but Lin Rei made a move. His figure flashed and disappeared. However, when the saints heard Lin Rei's words, they were stunned. When they turned around, they saw that Lin Rei had disappeared. We don't dare. Hurry up, humph, you are only in the early stage of Dao fruit and you dare to have evil intentions towards my wife. Huh, should I say that you are bold, or should I say that you are blind? At this time, Lin Rei's voice sounded from behind a young man. His voice was filled with coldness. You, at this moment, the young man felt that he had fallen into the hands of the Grim Reaper. His body stiffened and cold sweat broke out. Humph, go to hell. Lin Rei stretched out his hand and patted the young man's body. His hand did not have the slightest bit of spiritual energy, but the moment his hand touched the young man's body, a flame separated from the illusory spirit blood fire. The moment Lin Rei released it, it instantly invaded the young man's body like a maggot attached to a bone. Lin Rei did not pay attention to him. It was not that Lin Rei was arrogant, but he was very confident in the power of the illusory spirit blood fire. However, although he had taken care of two of them, Lin Rei could no longer think like before. After all, he was up against saints, and there were 6 or 7 of them in front of him. As the saying goes, 2 fists are no match for 4 hands. If you walk by the river often, your shoes will get wet. Seeing the fear in the remaining people's eyes, Lin Rei was delighted. The chaotic void spear appeared and 9 azure dragons were instantly released. The 9 azure dragons had the strength of a saint. Sigh. Forget it, let's do it again before I break through. After all, these are all money. At this moment, in Lin Rei's eyes, the group of saints in front of him were no longer human, but exchange points and reputation points. They were the source of his debt. What? 9 azure dragons? Mu Bai's brows were tightly furrowed, his face filled with shock and indescribable shock. In this place, he had already felt too many pleasant surprises that he had never imagined. No, it was not pleasant surprises, it was shock. The moment the 9 azure dragons appeared, Mu Bai felt an aura from them that was comparable to his. From the aura, he could tell that they were all saints. Panic, at this moment, Mu Bai was panicking. Thinking of Lin Rei's means and the 9 azure dragons at this moment, the people he brought were not enough to resist at all. At this moment, Lin Rei asked the system in his mind, System, if I kill all of them, there shouldn't be any bad effects, right? Ding. No, not only that, but you will also receive a lot of exchange points and reputation points. These few days. With the system's confirmation, Lin Rei relaxed. He then raised his head and said to the azure dragons, Go, kill. Don't let a single one of them go. Roar, one draconic roar after another rang out from the mouths of the 9 azure dragons. Right now, it was as though the 9 azure dragons had been injected with adrenaline. After receiving Lin Li's permission, they instantly disappeared from where they were, charging towards Mu Bai and the others. Xiao Xiao did not have the chance to laugh at Mu Bai's side. Looking at the saints in front of him, Lin Rei smiled and rushed forward with the chaotic void spear in his hand. Silent Thunder Spear Art, Martial God Stratagem, Butterfly Steps, Star Finger. At this moment, Lin Rei used all of his battle techniques, footwork, magic, everything he knew. He did not want to waste any more time because there were still 3 places waiting for him. However, at this moment, within the Rain Sect, a young man holding a folding fan, wearing a golden robe, with sharp eyebrows and bright eyes, and a pig following beside him, slowly walked to the side of a woman. Looking at the woman who was covered in wounds, the young man frowned and his face was filled with killing intent. Little you, are they the ones who injured you to this extent? The young man's words were filled with killing intent. The young man was angry. Chapter 884. It's them. They asked us to kneel and repent the moment they came. Uncle Bai and Uncle Jian Wei fought them to protect me, but, as she spoke, she felt wronged. She could not speak, and her tears fell. Her appearance as a goddess of war had completely disappeared. They are too strong. Uncle Bai and Uncle Jian were suppressed before they even reached those people. They could not fight back at all. With tears in his eyes and Lin Wanyu's peerless appearance, the Pai Shio's heart melted. Then, the desire in his heart grew stronger. Originally, he and the 8 treasures were in a treasure land. There were countless spiritual herbs there, and there were even a few divine crystal veins. He was still shouting that he had made a fortune when he received a letter from Lin Rei, saying that Lin Wanyu was suppressed, and the other party was a saint. Looking at the treasures in front of him, the Pai Shio, who was very tempted, did not want to pay attention to it. However, when he thought of Lin Rei, looking at the treasures in front of him, he made a difficult choice. After a battle in his heart, he had no choice but to agree in the end. The 8 treasures did not want to leave at all, but because of the Pai Shio's strength, they could only choose to compromise. It was also because of this that the current scene happened. The Pai Shio used his special skill, the power of space, to arrive in one day. He must have paid a great price. He was already angry. Now, seeing Lin Wanyu like this, the Pai Shio, who was even angrier, transferred all his anger to the group of saints who suddenly appeared. When he appeared, his eyes were filled with endless killing intent. He narrowed his eyes, and his gaze was like that of a beast. Are you courting death? Don't you know that I am looking after Xiaoyu? Whoosh, after saying that, his figure flashed and disappeared instantly. He disappeared silently. Everyone present was stunned and then became vigilant. Unforgivable. You don't want to stay in the holy world and have to come down to the lower world to cause trouble. You are courting death. Do you know that? At this moment, the space behind a young man twisted. A figure appeared and looked at him coldly. A murderous aura flashed. Dodge. He is behind you. Quick. At this moment, the young man's companions saw the Pai Shio appear. Their expressions changed, and they shouted to remind him. However, at the moment when someone reminded him, Pai Shio stretched out his hand and grabbed the young man's neck. A strange red light flashed into the young man's body. How is this possible? At this moment, the young man who was lifted up by the Pai Shio felt something in his body. The previous vigorous energy was still circulating in his body, filling his body and the Blood Sea Prefecture, but, in the next moment, the Blood Sea Prefecture that had been filled with life instantly became lifeless. What was even stranger was that a beast that was only the size of a human's head appeared. It hovered in the air, its eyes cold and emotionless. The beast was shaped like a dragon's head, a horse's body, and unicorn's feet. It was shaped like a lion, and its fur was grayish-white. When the young man saw the beast's form clearly, he was stunned. Staring blankly at the thing that appeared in his Blood Sea Prefecture, the young man was stupefied and confused, not knowing what was going on. 10,000 curses ran through his heart. He didn't know why, but he was scared and wanted to escape. Pai Shio. Finally, the young man spoke. His heart was filled with terror. This was probably the most unforgettable moment in his life. Facing the young man's terror, the Pai Shio laughed disdainfully and said, "Since you dared to come to the lower realm and offend my Xiaoyu, you should have been prepared beforehand. Are you ready?" I. Subconsciously, the young man wanted to speak, but he didn't know what to say, nor did he know what to say. He only knew that the existence in front of him was an existence that had already gone extinct in the saints' world. He was scared, and wanted to retreat even more. "Forget it, since you're already here, then, die." As he said that, a gentle smile appeared on his face. However, to the young man, this smile was like the god of death inviting him to lock his soul. Crack, a crisp and pleasant sound of bones breaking rang out in everyone's ears. At this moment, everyone's eyes widened, as if they had seen something bizarre. They couldn't believe it. How could this be? How could they be this busy? Why would they? At this moment, a young man wearing luxurious clothes and a jade-like complexion saw his subordinates being killed in an instant. How should he describe it? It was clean, neat, and clean. He died without any hesitation. one had to know that the person who died was a saint, a mid-stage saint. He died just like that in a low-level realm like the divine world. This made him feel awkward and worried. Bang! Without saying a word, the Biyao looked at the young man's soul in his hand and smiled disdainfully. With a wave of his hand, the corpse was flung far away until it disappeared from sight. Phew, it's been a long time since I killed a saint. This feeling. TSK, not bad. With a smile, one could tell that he wasn't lying. However, this sentence was like a ticking time bomb in the ears of the saints. It was shocking. What the F***ck? Not killing a saint in one go? Is this something that should happen in a low-level realm? Obviously, they hadn't seen it before. Moreover, to kill a genuine saint so easily without leaving any traces behind, you are from the saint's world? At this moment, while everyone was still in shock, the Biyao turned around and looked at the crowd. In the end, it landed on the young man in luxurious clothes. A flash of light flashed across its eyes. We are Tian. Subconsciously, the young man in luxurious clothes wanted to say where he came from. However, as soon as he opened his mouth, he immediately came back to his senses. F***ck, why do I have to answer? As he thought about it, a surge of energy instantly filled the young man's body. His face instantly turned gloomy. Looking at the Biyao's eyes, he said indifferently, "You. Who are you to that woman? Do you know who we are? How dare you stop us? Do you know how stupid you are for doing what you did today?" Heh. Idiot, the Biyao didn't take the young man's words to heart at all. First, he was invited by Lin Rei. Even if he really killed someone, the final karma would fall on Lin Rei. Moreover, he was already very angry with the people of the saints' world. Therefore, of course, Lin Rei didn't know about the Biyao's thoughts. Otherwise, Lin Rei would have told him about it. What did you say? The young man's face turned red when he heard the Biyao insulting him. He felt humiliated that the Biyao dared to say that he wanted to kill someone. Didn't you hear me? Well, I'll say it again. Listen carefully. I said. Idiot. Did you hear me? The Biyao looked at the young man with interest and said. Bastard, you. You dare to humiliate my heavenly court star sovereign. You want to die? His sudden words caused everyone's eyes to turn away from him. However, the person who spoke at this moment didn't realize that the moment he said the two words, heavenly court, the smiling Biyao's face instantly turned gloomy. A murderous aura vaguely rushed out of his body. Heavenly court, ha. Ha. Ha ha ha, the sudden laughter stunned everyone. They didn't know why the Biyao was like this. However, there was one thing that they could feel. It was none other than the murderous aura that filled the surroundings. It was endless and made everyone's divine soul tremble. How? The young man in luxurious clothes seemed to have a premonition when this scene appeared. He looked at the person who spoke with anger. You. What did you say? Boom, a terrifying pressure instantly appeared and suppressed everyone in the field, except for Lin Wanyu and the other two and the 8 treasures. Ha ha ha, heavenly court, Hao Tian. I didn't expect you to suppress me back then. Now, your disciples and grand disciples are in my hands. Don't worry, this is just the beginning. Wait. Wait for me, step by step. The Lingxiao main hall will only make you fear, and let you know. You. Who are you? How did you? Hearing the person in front of them say the Lingxiao main hall, at this moment, no one would think that the person in front of them was a nobody. The young man in luxurious clothes was even more shocked. Hao Tian was the master of the heavenly court. The Lingxiao main hall was where Hao Tian was in charge. Now, it was said by the person in front of him, moreover, suppressed. What did that mean? Could it be that the person in front of him was suppressed by Hao Tian before? Thinking of this, the young man in luxurious clothes wanted to retreat. He didn't want to and didn't dare to stay here any longer. He was afraid. Who am I? No one has asked me this question for a long time. Who am I? I am Lin Rei's friend. I am the Biyao of the holy world. I am one of the first creatures in the world. I am the first person of the Biyao clan, ancestor Biyao, Biyao said with melancholy. However, his words made the young man in luxurious clothes dumbfounded. Biyao. The moment he heard this, he already knew that Biyao was the Biyao that had been suppressed by Hao Tian. Thinking of this, the young man in luxurious clothes took a step back with fear on his face. After everything returned to normal, he subconsciously wanted to leave. Do you think you can still leave? I will kill every one of Hao Tian's disciples and grand disciples that I see. As long as they are disciples of the heavenly court, I will kill all of them. After saying the word kill 3 times in a row, the situation suddenly became more and more interesting. The young man in luxurious clothes had completely lost his will to fight at this moment. He only wanted to leave. I didn't expect this. I didn't expect the sword Sect saint to be from the heavenly court. Just when the situation was extremely extreme and was about to explode, suddenly, a calm voice was heard. Lin Rei? Turning around, when Biyao looked over, he was stunned and said with a strange expression, why are you here? Didn't you ask me to come back as soon as possible? You bastard, do you know that for you, I didn't even eat the heavenly treasures in front of me. Damn you. Lin Lei's appearance was out of everyone's expectations, especially the Biyao. He was clear about Lin Rei's strength. None of the people in front of him was a match for Lin Rei. But now that he had appeared, wasn't he superfluous? Thinking of this, he thought of the heavenly treasures that he didn't eat before. For him, his heavenly treasures were still far away. Thinking of Biyao, he couldn't help but have the impulse to go forward and give Lin Rei a big fight. Biyao's appearance at this moment had already subverted his impression in everyone's hearts. The previous tall appearance was completely gone at this moment, only a funny appearance was left. Looking at Biyao's appearance, Lin Rei knew that he seemed to have disturbed his good fortune. In this regard, Lin Rei smiled awkwardly, and then quickly opened his mouth to change the topic, aren't there heavenly court soldiers over there? Quickly kill them and then go to the next place. There are still 2 places without support. I don't know how they are at the moment. Thinking of this, his heart was heavy. Please don't let anything happen to them, or husband, it's okay. Don't worry, they are fine. At this time, Ying's hand reached out from behind and grabbed Lin Rei, comforting him. Yes, husband, you see, isn't Xiao Yu okay? Bing stepped forward and echoed, and then pointed to Lin Wanyu. Although they only received a little, after experiencing this incident, I think they will work harder in the future and will not relax on their own cultivation. Tisk tsk, this is. Thinking about it, it was actually true. Forget it, let's underestimate Xiao Yu's injuries. Saying that, Lin Rei turned and walked towards Lin Wanyu. I'll let you go first. Wait until I kill these ants. Understanding Lin Rei's heavy heart, Biyao did not continue to fool around. Instead, he turned to look at the group of people, and a cruel smile appeared on his face. He moved. His figure turned into a stream of light, and instantly disappeared from the scene. At this moment, 1,000 years in luxurious clothes panicked. Quick, he's here. He has survived since the desolate era, but I never thought that he would be here today. Everyone, quickly work together. Even if we can't kill Biyao, we can at least escape. Yes, young Master Xingyu is right. Let's go together. We must escape from here. Agreed, we must leave here. If we die here, how will we face when we return to the holy world? Face. I'm afraid you won't be able to return. At this moment, Biyao figure appeared behind him, and a beast claw with shocking pressure and cultivation ruthlessly slammed down. Bang! A loud bang was heard, and one person was directly gone. It could not be said that he was gone, but he was slammed into the ground before he could resist. It was unknown whether he was dead or alive. Let's continue. Let me see how strong vast heaven's disciples are, and estimate the heavenly court's strength in an instant. This way, when we return to the holy world, we won't have to be restrained. Chapter 885. The prelude to the slaughter had been pulled open. A one-sided massacre had unfolded before everyone's eyes. Aside from Linley's side, the entire Rain sect had already fallen into a daze. Watching this one-sided massacre unfold before their eyes, they retreated in terror. Lin Rei, Biyao, Ying, and the others' figures had been completely imprinted in the hearts of the Rain sect's members. They would probably never be able to erase the fear they had for Lin Rei. Looks like our Rain sect won't be able to be called one of the 7 sects anymore. Any one of these people could sweep through the 7 sects, but who are they? Why haven't I heard of them before? On the side, a young man heard his master's words and continued. Yeah, these people. They're too terrifying. They've already surpassed this world. But, why are they here? Could it be that they're here to make fun of us? The Rain sect's members couldn't figure it out no matter how they thought about it. They shook their heads and tried their best to stay awake and not think about it. Linley and the others didn't know what was happening. By now, Linley had already arrived by Lin Wenyu's side. Looking at the bloody scars on her body, he was suddenly filled with the desire to kill. Master, it's fine. It's just a small injury. Also, as your disciple, if I can't even endure this little bit of pain, then I'm not worthy of being your disciple. Feeling Pang Bo's intent, Lin Wenyu's heart shook. She quickly comforted him. I understand. Now that she had said this, Linley naturally knew what she meant. And then, his will faded a bit. However, although you didn't want to pursue this matter, they've injured my disciple. If I don't teach them a painful lesson, then everyone will shit on my disciple's head in the future. How can that be? After saying that, he looked at the Rain sect's members who were standing in the distance. A cold aura spread out from his body. Whoosh, a black shadow instantly rushed out. The old man sensed this and wanted to resist. However, when he tried to resist, he felt a pain in his left shoulder. It was as if something was missing. Feeling the pain, the old man subconsciously turned his head to look. However, when his gaze fell on his left shoulder, his eyes widened, and an extremely shocked expression appeared spontaneously on his face. A miserable shriek rang out. Aside from the members of the Rain sect who stepped forward to threaten him, none of the saints paid any attention to him. It wasn't that they didn't want to, but rather. At this moment, the saints did not have the time to care about him because they were being slaughtered and had no power to fight back. Remember, this is the consequence of harming my, Lin Rei's, disciple. This is the first time, and I hope it will be the last. I don't want to see my disciple injured again, otherwise. His gaze swept across the surroundings, and a wisp of killing intent instantly erupted. His tone was sinister as he said, the next time this sovereign comes, your Rain sect will disappear. There's no need for it to exist. It's better to just erase it and end it once and for all. Hiss, the moment those words were spoken, everyone from the Rain sect sucked in a breath of cold air. Their faces were filled with shock. They didn't think that Lin Rei's words would be so domineering. However, when they thought about his strength, thought about the strength of his disciple and the people who came here, those people from the Rain sect who were originally filled with anger and indignation all backed off in fear. They didn't dare to say anything, let alone defend themselves. They didn't do it for him, but for themselves. Even their own sect's grand elder had an arm torn off in an instant. They were nothing compared to him. You've worked hard. Looking at the person who came back, it was none other than his wife, Ing. "It's nothing. I just did it in passing." She smiled and didn't say anything else. She directly drove until Lin Ray stopped and stood there quietly. Seeing his wife like this, Lin Ray smiled and didn't say anything else. In his opinion, he and his wife had already reached the level where they could understand each other with just a glance. Turning around, with a thought, he took out 2 venerable level healing pills from his storage ring. He crushed one and applied it on Lin Wanyu's body. Then, he handed the other pill to her and said with concern, "Hurry up and eat it. After that, the wounds on your body and the injuries on your internal organs will all heal. Moreover, there won't be any scars left." "I understand, Master." Saying that, Lin Wanyu smiled and opened her mouth to swallow the pill. Then, she sat down cross-legged and began to recover. Looking at his disciple who was recovering, Lin Ray suddenly thought of the heaven-extinguishing rock fire from the auction street. He hesitated. Although the heaven-extinguishing rock fire wasn't as good as the illusory spirit blood fire, it was still born from heaven and earth. He was afraid. He was afraid that his disciple wouldn't be able to take it. Devouring a spiritual treasure born from heaven and earth was the first thing to ensure that one was clear-headed during the refining process. However, he was afraid that Xiao Yu wouldn't be able to take it during the refining process. If that happened, even he wouldn't be able to save her. The more he thought about it, the more worried he became. In the end, Lin Ray didn't think about it anymore. Sigh, forget it. I'll wait for a while. When Xiao Shui breaks through to the ultimate god realm, I'll let her become a talisman grandmaster. That way, I might be able to refine the heaven-extinguishing rock fire into a kind of realm. Thinking about it, Lin Ray made up his mind and immediately hid the matter of the heaven-extinguishing rock fire. He looked at the Pai Xiu who was in the midst of killing in the distance. He watched as the Pai Xiu dashed around at an extremely fast speed. The so-called young man who was called Xingyu had brought fewer and fewer people with him. Originally, there were dozens of people, but now, there were less than 20 people left. After the others were killed by the Pai Xiu, they were kept away with a ghostly technique. Xingyu's eyes widened when he saw the scene. His face was ugly and he wanted to retreat. However, in the current situation, even if he wanted to retreat, it was probably out of his control. The Pai Xiu's speed was getting faster and faster. He couldn't even see how the Pai Xiu attacked. The people he brought with him were killed without leaving behind any bones. "Master, you should leave quickly. This person is a lunatic. He's not human. You should leave quickly. When your father came, he ordered us to protect you. If something happens to you here, then. One of the people who came to Xingyu's side said anxiously. Then, what about that? If you have something to say, then say it. Why are you being so wishy-washy? Looking at the old man, Xingyu said impatiently. Then, if something happens to you, my family and the sect I belong to will be annihilated. So, you should leave. We will cover you. Even if we die, as long as you're fine, it's the same as our family being fine. Hearing those words, Xingyu felt a little uncomfortable. However, when he thought that he might really die here, he calmed down. At this moment, he was the calmest he had ever been in his life. Seeing that more and more people he brought with him were dying, he was startled and nodded. All right. Since that's the case, then. Go, hurry up. Master, hurry up. That guy is increasing his speed. From this, it can be seen that he's gone crazy. Hurry up. Just at this moment, the old man's body trembled. He turned around and looked. His face was filled with anxiety. What? Hurry up and leave. At this moment, the old man no longer cared about Xingyu's noble status. The instant he shouted in a low voice, he reached out and grabbed Xingyu. Ancient, blood shadow, flash wind, sweep shadow, blood escape technique, activate. You want to use your blood essence? Hearing the old man's muttering, Xing Yu's mind went blank. He knew this incantation very well. It was a low-level escape technique in the holy world. The blood escape technique was a technique that used a cultivator's foundation. It was a technique that used all of a cultivator's blood essence as the price. The reason why it was the lowest level escape technique in the holy world was not because it wasn't powerful. Instead, it was because it was too powerful. However, the price to use the blood escape technique was all of a cultivator's blood essence. After becoming a saint, who would want to use their future as the price to escape? Even if they managed to escape, they would not have the opportunity to do so in the future. They might even die on the spot. However, the old man had clearly made a big decision. Otherwise, he wouldn't use such a forbidden technique. Heh, pfff. A mouthful of scarlet blood spurted out from the old man's mouth. His face instantly paled. A blood-red spiritual energy instantly enveloped the two of them. At this moment, the old man smiled. He smiled very happily. Young master, although you usually mess around, this old man wants to beg you before I die. When you have the chance to return to the holy world, you must take care of my clan and sect. Although they might be nothing in your eyes, but, I promise you. Xing Yu cut in. I promise you that if I have the chance to return, I will definitely take care of your clan and sect. Although I can't make them a first-rate sect in the holy world, I can still protect them for eternity. Thank you. A relieved expression appeared in the old man's eyes. Following that, the blood escape technique was completely activated. At this moment, Xing Yu only felt his vision darken. His body went limp and he lost consciousness. Sigh. With a sigh, the old man looked back at the remaining 10 or so people. He resolutely turned back and took a step forward, instantly disappearing from the Rain sect. This scene attracted the attention of Lin Rei, Pai Xiu, and the others. However, the blood escape technique was so heaven-defying that they didn't even have time to react before the old man and Xing Yu disappeared. F***ck. Looking at the empty place where Xing Yu was originally, Pai Xiu couldn't help but curse. His expression was extremely ugly. Forget it. If they ran away, then they ran away. At this moment, Linley understood what Pai Xiu was thinking. He took a step forward and went to Pai Xiu's side. He reached out and grabbed Pai Xiu's shoulder to stop him. Don't forget that all 4 sects have saints now. If I'm not wrong, all the top sects in the 9th state and even the entire God realm should have saints. Hearing this, Pai Xiu, who originally wanted to look for the people who escaped, was stunned. He turned his head and looked at Lin Rei in confusion. Although I'm not sure, I can still guess. With so many people coming down, something has appeared in the holy world. It's these high and mighty saints who treat life like ants that didn't hesitate to come down. You, at the side, the person who was brought here by Xing Yu, heard Lin Rei's analysis. He was stunned and speechless. However, as soon as he opened his mouth, he realized that he had misspoken. He quickly shut his mouth and turned his head. It seems that I'm right. He smiled and turned to look at the person who had misspoken. With a smile, he said indifferently, Tell me. Why did you come down to the holy world with so many people? If I tell you, perhaps it will make you feel better. If not, boom. After saying that, a burst of illusory spirit blood fire appeared and was thrown to a middle-aged man who was lying on the ground moaning. Hysterical screams were heard. His voice was miserable and his face was ferocious. From this, one could imagine how much pain he was suffering. Pai Xiu wanted to refute on the spot. However, when he heard the scream of the middle-aged man, he swallowed the words that he wanted to blurt out. Hurry up and tell me. Otherwise. Pai Xiu knew that Lin Rei's guess was right. However, the person in front of him knew the secret of why the saints came down. I don't know. I don't know. He cried. It was unknown whether it was because of Lin Rei and Pai Xiu's suppression or because of the miserable scream of the middle-aged man next to him. Clear tears flowed out from his eyes. With snot and tears, he begged for mercy. Please, I beg you. Don't force me. I really don't know. Seeing him like this, Lin Rei and Pai Xiu blushed with shame. A saint could be forced to such a state. They were speechless. However, to be able to see a saint shed tears was also a rare thing. Tears flowed down his cheeks and fell to the ground. On the ground that was originally barren, after coming into close contact with the saint's tear, a trace of green instantly appeared. Following that, a small tree appeared without warning. Furthermore, it slowly grew taller and taller. The saint's tear is not bad. If you can use it to cultivate spiritual herbs, then. Looking at the small tree in front of him, Lin Rei was unable to extricate himself from his fantasy. Humph. You wish. With a look of disdain, he looked at Lin Rei. Although the saint's tear is rich with life energy, the majority of the spiritual herbs that it cultivates cannot be used. Is that so? For a moment, Lin Rei felt that it was a pity. I originally thought that you would be useful. However, since you are useless and unwilling to tell us the purpose of the realm of the gods, then, go to hell. Puchi. A long spear that was engraved with 9 azure dragons appeared. It turned into a stream of light and directly pierced through the chest of the young man. 9 golden rays of light instantly appeared. In an instant, the young man's body exploded. Blood splattered everywhere. Sigh. I didn't want to use force, but you guys just had to be cheap. There's no other way. Don't blame me. Remember, the person above is a Pai Xiu. Do you understand? Your uncle. What are you talking about? Seeing how shameless Lin Rei was, the Pai Xiu was flustered and exasperated. Enough. Every day, you are behaving like a child. Can't you see that this is a serious matter? After saying that, Lin Rei's face turned serious. The serious matter is more important. Do you understand? Chapter 886. F***ck, bastard, you bastard. Seeing Lin Rei being so shameless, Pai Xiu laughed and scolded. Then, it stopped talking and stood aside obediently. Hee. Seeing Pai Xiu being so obedient, Lin Rei's eyes flashed with a trace of surprise. He did not expect Pai Xiu to be so obedient. However, he did not think about it and turned his head to look at the remaining people. With a smile on his face, just like before, he smiled at them like a spring breeze. However, this kind of smile, in the eyes of others, was the smile of death. And those who knew Lin Rei knew that as long as Lin Rei smiled and smiled happily, it meant that he was very angry. Moreover, there was a kind of implication. This smile was Lin Rei's signature to kill people. As long as Lin Rei showed this kind of smile, there would be an indescribable scene. Blood would flow like a river. What are you doing? At this time, when the people of Holy World saw Lin Rei's smile, their bodies inexplicably retreated. Their souls trembled and their legs trembled. It was as if they had received an extreme shock. Tell me, why did you come down here? Looking at them, Lin Rei walked towards them step by step. Don't be like that person just now. I don't like to torture people. Of course, if you don't know what's good for you, then I don't mind letting you experience the cruelest side of this world. I guarantee that you will become a ghost. Oh yes, I'm afraid you won't even have the chance to become a ghost and will disappear from this beautiful and passionate world. F***ck, damn pervert. Hearing Lin Rei's words and that hateful smile, for a moment, Pai Xiu was stunned and scolded in his heart. Seeing Lin Rei walking towards them step by step, one of them subconsciously wanted to say something like, I don't know. But when the word, I, came out, the person who spoke subconsciously looked at the person who said that sentence before. At this moment, he was lying on the ground, suffering from the torture of the illusory spirit blood fire. Although there were no more screams, his body was still twitching slightly. It could be seen that he was not dead, but had lost the ability to scream. Seeing his companion in such a state, he decisively shook his head, as if he had made up his mind. He raised his head to look at Lin Rei, sorted out what he wanted to say, and said, I know, I'll tell you everything. If I tell you, will I still have a chance to live? The man nervously looked at Lin Rei, as if he wanted to detect something from Lin Rei's face. Seeing the man like this, Lin Rei smiled disdainfully and nodded. Sure. As long as you tell me everything you know, I promise I won't kill you. Don't worry. Really? Hearing Lin Rei let him go, the man was stunned and blurted out subconsciously. I, Lin Rei, promise that as long as the person in front of me tells me what I want to know, I promise I won't kill him, won't touch him, and won't cause any physical, spiritual, or mental pain to him. If I violate this promise, I will be killed by the 9 heavens' thunder and burned by the earth fire. Without hesitation, Lin Li swore an oath to the heavens. Lowering his head, he looked at the man and said calmly, all right. Now that things have come to this, it's time for you to tell me what I want to know. Alas. Poor child. Seeing Lin Rei like this, Pai Xiu pitied the man, but the pity disappeared and was replaced by a murderous intent. However, Pai Xiu's murderous intent flashed by so quickly that the man didn't react at all, let alone sense it. Say it. Although we are from the heavenly court, they have never seen us as humans. Every time there is a dangerous situation, they let us charge into the battlefield, and the rewards are always given to those big shots. It's good that we can use this opportunity to leave the heavenly court and stay in the God realm. Yes. Being an idle person in the God realm, traveling around and comprehending the truth of the great Tao, isn't it better than being a slave in the holy world? Hearing the two's words, the rest of the people nodded in agreement. That's great. Great. The idea in your heart is better. We all agree. Hearing his companion's words, the man nodded and made a decision in his heart. Then he looked up and said slowly. It's like this. At this time, Lin Rei and Pai Xiu pricked up their ears and listened carefully. They wanted to know what it was that could make so many saints not hesitate to come to the lower realm. Some time ago, something unbelievable happened in the holy world. You should know about Tao ancestor Hong Jun, right? Yes, Hong Jun became a part of the Tendo. What happened to him? Hearing the man's question, Lin Rei couldn't help but ask. That's right. Tao ancestor Hong Jun is an invincible existence in the holy world. However, a while ago, Tao ancestor Hong Jun suddenly appeared and told Celestial Emperor Haotian that the creation jade disc is missing 2 Taos and asked Celestial Emperor Haotian to find them. What? Missing 2 Taos? Doesn't that mean? At this time, Lin Rei was shocked. Not only Lin Rei, but even Pai Xiu was the same. Who didn't know about the creation jade disc? It contained 3,000 Taos. It was also because of the creation jade disc that Hong Jun could succeed in the Tao integration and become a supreme being in the holy world. However, now that they heard that the creation jade disc was missing 2 Taos, didn't that mean that the 3,000 Taos were incomplete? Hong Jun's cultivation level was, of course, all living beings could comprehend the 3,000 Taos, but the Taos they comprehended were projections of the 3,000 Taos and not the real Taos. However, the creation jade disc was different. It contained the source of the Taos. Now that the source was missing, Hongjuan's 3,000 Taos were broken. However, Pai Xiu thought the same as Lin Rei. As an existence from the Eldritch era, he knew the seriousness of this matter very well. Looks like you've already guessed it. Seeing the shock on Lin Rei and Pai Xiu's faces, the man smiled and continued. You're right. Dao ancestor Hung Jun is no longer complete, so he left the Tendo and returned to the Holy World. Originally, this was a secret operation and only people from the Heavenly Court knew about it. However, I don't know who spread the news. In a short period of time, all the major forces in the Holy World received this news and obtained the location of the two Daos from Saint Tianji. Could it be? Thinking of a possibility, Lin Rei looked at Pai Xiu. At the same time, the two of them looked at each other and understood each other's thoughts. That's right. Saint Tianji observes the mysteries of heaven. The location of the two Daos is the God world, but the exact location is unknown. As expected. Hearing the man's words, Lin Rei revealed a look of understanding. However, what did this have to do with them coming to the sect? Not only that, but they also beat up his disciple and peeped at his wife. Continue. Pai Xiu saw the man stop and said coldly. What? Looking at Pai Xiu, the man was stunned. In his heart, Lin Rei only wanted to know about this matter. Tell me why you came to the major sects. Lin Rei knew what Pai Xiu was thinking, so he said. Looking at Lin Rei and Pai Xiu, as well as Lin Wanyu and the others who were recovering in the distance, the man said, actually, this matter is very related to the two Daos. Although we came from the sacred world, the divine world is vast and boundless. No one has the ability to explore the borders of the divine world. Therefore, the fastest way to find the two Daos is to use the local sections. There is strength in numbers. Even if they know about it, they don't have the ability to take over the Daos. In the end, our mission will be completed. Young Master Xingyu chose the Rain Sect, but no one expected that when we arrived at the Rain Sect, we would be challenged. Moreover, the challengers were 3 beautiful women. Therefore, the man didn't dare to continue speaking. Cold sweat was already flowing out because he was afraid that if he continued speaking, something bad would happen. So that's the case. Hearing this, Lin Rei understood. He also knew why so many sects suddenly asked for help. It turned out that the main culprit was from the sacred world. However, in the end, the man still didn't say what Daos they were talking about. Thinking of this, Lin Rei looked at him and asked, which Daos are they talking about? It's the Space Dao and the Slaughter Dao. The man quickly said everything he knew. Space. Slaughter. When the Pai Xiu heard that it was these two Daos, his eyes widened. His face was filled with disbelief. He didn't expect that the two Daos that were left behind would be such powerful existences. It seems like the heavens are helping me. At this moment, Lin Rei thought differently from the Pai Xiu. The Pai Xiu was shocked at most, but Lin Rei wasn't. Not only wasn't he shocked, but his ambition was obvious. No matter which Daos it was, they were extremely powerful existences. As the saying went, time was king and space was emperor. They were defined since the beginning of the world. As for the Slaughter Dao, it was even more powerful. It was born for slaughter. As long as he got one of them, Lin Rei believed that he could break through to the Saint Realm in a short time. Even if he went to the sacred world, with the support of the two Daos, he believed that he would be able to improve his cultivation even faster. Sooner or later, he would be on the same level as the Dao ancestor. At that time, he might be able to know what happened at that time. He could even let the little dragon and the system go down to the mortal realm to find the existence of Hongming's supreme physique and support it at all costs. Moreover, he had too many things to know from the little dragon and the system. Of course, there was one more important thing. It was none other than refining a physical body for the little dragon to integrate into. Ding, mission. Do you accept? Suddenly, the familiar sound of the system notification rang out. For a moment, Linley smiled. A mission that appeared at this time, it was obvious that it was related to the two Daos. Thinking about it, Lin Rei nodded and smiled. Let's take a look at the mission first. Although he had already guessed the mission, he still wanted to see it for himself to feel at ease. After all, the system was too cunning. Moreover, more importantly, it was too deceitful. Every time, the one who was unlucky was Lin Ray. Therefore, he had to be more careful at this time. Ding, Mission 1, find the space origin. Reward, level 1 chance of survival. Warlord level up. Warlord level up 4 times. Ding, Mission 2, find the killing origin. Reward, Ancestral Dragon Secret Technique, entry to the Blood Sea Secret Realm. Ding, host, do you accept? TSK, why do I feel like there's a trap? Listening to the system's mission, although it was extremely good, Lin Ray just felt that something was wrong. It didn't feel right. Ding, host, please respond quickly. If you don't respond within 10 seconds, it will be regarded as a forfeit. 10, 9, 8, 7, 4, 3, damn, how can it be like this? 2, I accept. I accept. Lin Ray didn't have any time to consider. Although it was said to take 10 seconds, the system shouted out 7 seconds really quickly. Only the last 3 seconds were slightly delayed. In the end, Lin Ray nodded his head and accepted. Ding, young master, the host has accepted the mission. The mission must be completed within 300 years. If the mission is not completed according to the time limit, the system will automatically revive a strong enemy killed by the host. And within a day after the revival of the strong enemy, the host's cultivation base will be sealed. You. Mother F***. Hearing the system's words, Lin Ray was stunned. His mouth couldn't help but twitch. Even though he had to be mentally prepared, he hadn't expected the system to be this shameless. A strong enemy killed by him, and his cultivation base was sealed for a day. Wasn't this just asking him to die? If I may be so bold as to ask, that powerful enemy you resurrected shouldn't have resurrected in front of me, right? Lin Li asked. Ding, the host is wrong. Of course, the revival would happen in front of the host. Otherwise, why would the host's cultivation base be sealed? Speechless. Speechless, helpless. Lin Ray didn't want to say anything more. He hadn't expected the system to be this playful. If the person he killed could be sealed, wouldn't that be terrible? Rather than that, he might as well be killed by the system. But the bitter thing was that he had already accepted the mission. If he were to give up now, the consequences would be unimaginable. Heis. Lin Ray couldn't help but sigh. The system was just too king good at scamming people. It was still alright in the past. But now, it was impossible to guard against it. Hee hee, kid, be content. The little dragon's voice rang out. Lin Ray was stunned for a moment before laughing bitterly. You have the cheek to say that? Come and try being scammed by your own system every day. By then, you won't think this way anymore. Rolling his eyes, Lin Fan replied in exasperation. All right then. But, since these two sources have appeared, no matter what method you use, you have to get them. But, this will bring you great benefits when you enter the Saint's world. Furthermore, if you can get Hongjuan's creation Jade Butterfly, that would be even better. By then, you'll be able to complete all 3,000 Great Daos and achieve Hongmeng with twice the results with half the effort. Ugh. Upon hearing the little dragon's words, Lin Ray rolled his eyes even more. Feeling exasperated in his heart, he thought to himself, bloody hell. How can the creation Jade Butterfly be that easy to get? Besides, even though Hongjuan's strength has regressed a little, he's still at the Dao integration state. Given my current strength, let alone drinking it, I might not even be able to defeat an existence at the pinnacle of a Dao fruit saint. What you're saying is purely asking me to court death. Do you know that? You're tuning into the Biyao's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.